The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Coach Andy Reid Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. This program starts now. Football is wonderful, and today we have a lot of great football conversations. Right around the corner, we have Chuck Pagano joining us in about 10 minutes. Yes, Chuck Pagano, the former head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, a man who had spent 36 years of his life coaching football, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Now it is official. He'll be back coaching with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, Charles.
This news was broke yesterday. We will obviously miss the hell out of Chuck Pagano on this particular program, but we're incredibly happy that he's back in the game, in the sport, in the league that he loves. We'll chat with him in about 9 minutes or so to see how this decision come about. Was it because he hated Connor so bad? Is it because he hated this? Or is it because he missed the game? All these football guys, all of them, basically have a yearning to get back in the game. That's why you're seeing 70-plus-year-olds get head coaching jobs. That's why you're seeing Bill Belichick go back to UNC. That's why you're seeing Chuck, who is at the age of 64, going to be a senior secondary coach because they just love it. They can't live without it. I think we were able to scratch the itch for Chuck there for a bit when he would travel out here, experience a little bit of team. But now he's getting back into a building, back into a program, back into a franchise that he knows very well and respects very well. And I cannot wait to see how he does over there. So, you know, if you count Kyle Van Noy, which Kyle would like us to do as such, and then you obviously do the math with Lombo and Bill and now Chuck, it does feel as if a lot of the people that we talk to on a regular basis are getting jobs back in the sport that they love of football. And we would like to say we're incredibly proud of them.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to all the boys getting back out there. The Talks Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, do you think this is your fault potentially?
Yeah, a little bit. But also, you know, that old man, he doesn't want to be home. You know, we've heard what he does at home. And sure, there are fleeting moments of very, very fun, syrup-filled adventures. But I feel like in this sense, Charles just loves the game. I mean, Pagano, I believe his brother used to coach there or is still there. One of them's in Washington. I'm not sure if he's still in Baltimore or not. But it does feel as though it is one of those situations where Chuck just loves coaching ball. I mean, he would get going here when he would start talking about the games, and it feels like now that he's back with Baltimore, who he mentioned, you know, recently, hey, this team can win it all, the secondary, all of it. It's just a perfect situation for Chuck.
It is exciting to add Coach Chuck Pagano to our defensive staff and continue to develop and grow our young, talented secondary. Chuck brings a wealth of knowledge, experience, and coaching talent to our team. He has deep ties to the program and is excited to get to work. Let's go to 9-year NFL vet and a man who played every position in the secondary, corner, safety, and nickel, host of Everything DB, Good D, Bad D, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, you obviously played for a team that Chuck Pagano was the head coach, and obviously he and you had great moments together in the film room, on the field, in practice. You get it. What are the Baltimore Ravens getting out of this old-ass man who's now a senior secondary coach?
Just a guy who loves ball, and he never, he's one of those guys who never leaves the game. Even when he was here, he was still, looking over the injury report and the weather and the refs and all the different intricate details that guys would do or wouldn't do when they were on TV. He still had that coaching itch. I'm glad he got back in there and being a senior DB coach. I'm not sure exactly what that title will be, but I'm glad that he's back in there, back in the building doing what he loves doing.
He's 64 years old. The secondary coach is 60 years old.
Jeez Louise.
So I don't know if that's a junior. 4 years is enough to be a junior and a senior. Will he be calling the other guy a junior? Will he be called senior around the building? We don't know what all his job title will be, but we will chat with him in about 6-7 minutes, which leads us to 12-year NFL veteran, Super Bowl champion, player, coach. Is he going to get back into the coaching ranks?
Whoa.
AQ Shipley is here. That baby AQ.
What's up, boys?
You know, there's some coaching staffs that still need to be filled. Are you thinking about getting the whistle and the visor back out and maybe going to coach a little ball again, AQ?
I am not. That itch is not scratching anywhere on my body at all.
You don't have that itch, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I have no ambition whatsoever to get back into it right now.
All the words were in there, but the message was clear. Yeah, you do not have the itch to get back into coaching.
Bingo.
You're okay with not having to fix printers and fax machines at about 5 a.m. in the morning and all that?
Not one bit.
Chuck's going into a senior secondary role. I think, obviously, his respect for John Harbaugh is a big deal. John Harbaugh's respect for him is a big deal. But I think all the things that D-Bud talked about were the amount of notes he was taking, he was still acting as if he was a coach. Just like Bill Belichick has been acting like he's still a coach. Just like Lombardi for the last year has been acting like he's a general manager. These guys can't get away.
They can't, and they focus on the things other than just the tape. I think DB and I love to watch the tape, but I'm not checking the weather. I'm not checking the stats. I'm not checking the injury report. I'm not doing that. I'm just watching the tape. I like to watch the tape. I like to break down ball. I like to break down everything and all the different schemes and stuff like that. But he's doing that, and he was literally focusing like he's the head coach or like he's running a room.
That's real. He really has been. Like, he joined that 33rd team because they get a call every single Wednesday with the lead officials to know what the point of emphasis is going to be for this. Like, all these guys, and they try to be cool whenever they want. I'm going to go and join my family.
Be fun.
I'm going to join my family. I'm going to be grandpa, that my grandkids always wanted. And it's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're an old dog. You're a senior dog. You literally have no chance to learn new tricks. I think there's like a week, maybe. I think there's like a 2-week period where they're like kind of hands off, and that's the same amount of time basically in the summer that they get off, they're able to turn off. But once that gets into like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, they just go right back into their old routines, and they can't help themselves. We've been telling Chuck, and I've been talking to Chuck off air a lot about, when are you getting back into this? When are you getting back into this thing? And he was looking at some of the head coaching candidates or coordinator positions, and he was like, maybe I should. Maybe now is the time. I'll be incredibly fascinated by when he thought was going to be the time. Like last year, did he think was the time? But he wanted to delay it, And how's Miss Tina feel about him getting back in it? He's going to say that she loves it because he's out of her hair yet again in this entire thing. But I am pumped to kind of get the mindset behind Chuck getting back into the gig.
I was going to say you nailed it on the head. Listen, it sounds great. You want to spend a lot of time with your family. You want to be at home a lot. Speaking from experience, I love my wife. I love her.
Love.
A weekend, I need a break. She needs a break. Like, we need to be apart at some point.
You guys have not been married long enough, I think.
10 years. We're on 10 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Decade?
Wow.
Yeah.
But I would like to say congratulations to both of you for that. But it is, that's a very normal thing. Like, I think military relationships are similar.
Yeah.
Any job that involves, like, people being away and then coming back, and then whenever it's all of a sudden you're back in there, the family, harmony is just, the house harmony is just complete. So what, so now you're just here?
Yeah, right.
That's... Okay, we've had this thing figured out for 20, 30 years. Now you're going to drop in, you got all the answers? I don't think so. And I think that plays into a part of it as well. I think it's good for Chuck's soul that he's got back out there. Now, before we get Chuck, let's talk about another coach. Older coach has made a decision. Mike McCarthy, Yinzer, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and obviously the Green Bay Packers. He has pulled his name out of contention for the New Orleans Saints gig. So has Cliff Kingsbury, but the reason why Cliff Kingsbury is a little bit different than Mike McCarthy, Cliff Kingsbury's still getting a head coaching contract. He's still getting paid from a guaranteed salary. Everybody was trying to compare Cliff to like Ben Johnson, all these other people. He's still getting paid from Arizona. Cliff is still getting a big old paycheck, so he's going to stay with Washington. Mike McCarthy now has a year off. What's Big Mike going to do next year? Maybe he joins the program. I don't know how he feels about us. I don't think I've ever got a chance to chat with him. He is a Yinzer, so he, was raised on the same waters that we were around here. But Big Mike McCarthy point out, why do you think this is, Todd? Do you think he wants to take a year break? Do you think he looked at the situation in New Orleans and said, this is not a desirable thing for me to potentially get into?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had Shefty on a couple days ago, and he, usually he wouldn't say something like that, but he was like, let's be frank, this isn't the greatest situation. Or maybe it wasn't Shefty. Someone said that very recently to us that, you look at their – maybe it was Dan Orlovsky said it actually yesterday. He said, you look at their cap situation, they kicked the can down the road, and, now it's here. So if he –
Mike McCarthy will have opportunities next year again. They don't know what's going on with Derek Carr. They're kind of in that position where they got a full rebuild is kind of coming there soon. So I don't know if you would want to go from the Cowboys job where it's like you have all this scrutiny. If he's going to be one of those top line guys next year, which we assume he will be, being a former Super Bowl champion and kind of getting Dak to play the best football of his career, like it actually worked out pretty well for him last time he took a year off. He did the McCarthy project. He duped Tom Pelissero. He was in his basement or in his barn doing all that stuff. Like, why not? Because we have no idea what jobs are going to become available next year. Like, what if the Dolphins job becomes available or something like that? I mean, you have no idea what situations might be a lot more desirable than New Orleans. So why not take a year off?
One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino nodded his head yes back there. What's that all about?
I mean, it's a make or break year for McDaniel. We all know that. You got to win a playoff game. You promised us you were going to win one this year on the show. Came on here, told me you were going to do it. Didn't do it. All right. So we got to win one. 25 fucking years.
Okay.
We got to win a playoff game.
Okay, so Ty, you say maybe the Dolphins open up. Gumpy's back there saying, yep, it is going to be up. But there's numerous jobs every single year, 7 to 10,
right.
6 to 10 every single year. Mike McCarthy, we assume, will get an opportunity in the next coaching cycle, which is what he's assuming as well. Good luck to him. I hope he enjoys his life. And we will certainly be reaching out to see if he would like to join us one day a week. We have some openings. Because some people have gotten back into the game that they love. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a guy who I was incredibly lucky to have as a head coach at the Indianapolis Colts, a man that we have all become very close friends with, and a man now who is the senior secondary coach for the Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chuck Pagano.
Yeah,
Coach, how you doing?
What's up, boys?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Look at this guy. He's glowing.
Wow.
This is just like whenever we had Bill on that first week after he signed back with UNC. You could tell that his life was full again. It was like he was the happiest he had been. Chuck, congratulations on the Ravens gig. My first question would be, when did you start to kind of consider to get back into coaching? We've chatted ad nauseum about, and we started the show with, you football guys, this is kind of what your life is. It is ball. You've been acting as if you're a head guy basically this entire time you've been retired. You show up here, you have 3 notebooks full of notes. You're in calls early in the morning with the 33rd team. You've been acting as if you're still in the league while you've been out of it. But when did you decide, you know what, maybe I should be getting back into this thing?
Probably the day I retired. They walked away in 2020, to be honest. I've always thought about it, Pat, and being around you guys and doing the gig with you and the 33rd team, and then hanging around, Boise State, the coaches here, Pat, it's always been in the back of my mind. It just had to be, the perfect situation. And, obviously, I'm very, very familiar with that organization. That had a ton to do with it. The role is absolutely perfect. I'm really not dying to be a head coach again and have all that responsibility, a coordinator, all the pressure that comes with that. Just an opportunity in this role to go help, John and this organization and that defensive staff, Zach Orr, they've got a great staff over there. So the role was important. Obviously, people matter. I know the people in that organization from the top down. It's the gold standard. Steve Bisciotti, Ozzie, who's was the GM, Eric DaCosta, who's now the GM, John Harbaugh, the staff, everybody in that building. I know all those people. Not much has changed. So it always comes down to people, right, Pat? Just like the people you have there. And then the last thing, what'll pull you off the couch is opportunity to win and win it all. They've built a phenomenal roster, as we know, right? We've been watching them. They are a wagon from top to bottom. Eric and John and that personnel staff, that coaching staff, they've built one hell of a roster. They've got a bunch of dudes on both sides of the ball and special teams. So those things, all those things we just chatted about, I've never really stopped. I think you probably knew that. The boys probably knew that. You could feel that. But this opportunity was just too good to pass up.
Okay, we're incredibly happy for you, and you're right. You did never stop, and it is funny to hear you. Like the day I stepped away was the day I was like, I regret this. I regret this. How am I going to survive? You have done a fantastic job with us. You've done a fantastic job with your family, and I wonder, because you just talked about nobody, the same names basically being there in Baltimore. Watching Hard Knocks in season. Was that something too there? Because they were back in that Baltimore building, back in the Ravens practice facility. Is that the reason that did you reach out to John, or how did kind of the conversations begin with you and Harbaugh?
We have always stayed in touch, Pat, via text message, a call here and there, holidays, family, very close with John. And it's funny, I texted him last week, and I was texting for a friend, a fellow coach that was out and looking, for an opportunity. So I reached out, text John, and says, hey, I've got a name for you, potential, spot on your defensive staff that you have open. And I was traveling back. It was last Thursday, right after the show, Pat. So I was at the airport, and I was getting ready to get on a plane. So he says, hey, I'll call you back in a sec. And I said, hey, I'm getting on a plane. Can we talk tomorrow? So we'll talk on Friday, talk about this potential candidate, whatever. And then the question comes up, hey, how you doing? You good? You itching a little bit? You feeling like, maybe there's, want to get back in some capacity? And so a conversation started, led to a Zoom call yesterday. Talked a lot of ball for a long time. Talked about a lot of things, and it just came out of nowhere, really, and very, very grateful that John would give me this opportunity to go back to a place where, like when I went to Baltimore in 2008 with him his first year, that organization, that franchise, the success that we had, as a DB coach and then a defensive coordinator my final season, Pat, it changed the whole trajectory of my career. I mean, it changed everything. We lose a heartbreaker in that AFC Championship game, and the next thing you know, you're sitting at a desk and you're get an opportunity to be the head coach of the Colts. So I owe that organization a ton.
Okay, so let's talk about your role that you came in to be. Cush has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, congrats. We're all pumped for you. But a quick question, right? So whenever this whole thing came about, just want to know what senior assistant second are you guys going to be working? Are you specifically with the safeties and he's with the corners, or are you guys going to be working as a team, or vice versa?
Yeah, great question. Because you want to go in on these things with a ton of clarity and take out as much gray AQs as possible, right? On what that role looks like. They have secondary coaches right now. Chris Hewitt is the, pass game coordinator, secondary coach. Doug Mallory coaches in the secondary. Both long-time veteran coaches, know shit ton of ball, obviously, know the back end. I get an opportunity to go in, fill a role in the back end where, how can I mentor? How can I help? What can I add to this? Go through the things, very familiar with the scheme. Obviously, that scheme, AQ, has not changed for the last, 100 years, it seems like. That thing has been intact. There's been coordinator after coordinator after coordinator, but the nuts and bolts of that scheme have not changed. So it's an opportunity for me to go in and, hey, what do you need? What do you need me to do? How can I help you guys develop these players? They've got phenomenal players back there. We know that, the Kyle Hamiltons of the world, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, our Darius, phenomenal job. They've got a bunch of dogs. Nate Wiggins is a rookie out of Clemson after his first year, very promising. So, a ton of great players and an opportunity just to contribute and help build.
How's Miss Tina feel about this? Getting you back out of the house, back into a facility. She's loving it, I assume.
Yeah, she's fired up, and now, yesterday, but now you wake up 2:30 in the morning again, and the wheels are spinning, and now, God, I got all this stuff to do, all this response, but whatever, we got to get things in order. She's jacked up. 4 of the best years, again, that we had as a family, was in Baltimore, that 08 to 2011 stretch, Pat. So she's fired up. Yeah, it's just a phenomenal place. There's a lot of familiar faces for her as well from a, coaching staff perspective, wives, those kind of things. So she's excited. This thing's in order here. We got everything in order. So it's like, I'm going to move out of here, Pat, and get myself a little flat, hopefully close to Little Italy. Used to hang out there a lot in Baltimore.
Okay.
I mean, they've got some freaking amazing spots down there, right?
Wow, I didn't know that.
And give me a little spot. She'll come back and forth, but she's not going to be lonely. My kids I'm sure they're going to be moving in here pretty quick as soon as I am out the door.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Obviously, out there in Boise, you got a beautiful place, beautiful view, beautiful life. Heading back to Baltimore, a place you know well. Maybe you'll be near Little Italy. Maybe you'll be near Jimmy's Famous Seafood, who said you'll never have to pay for another crab cake. Take them up on that offer, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, every night maybe,
No.
especially if Miss Tina's not there.
Yeah,
We'll take crab
genius.
cake every single night from Jimmy's. Make sure that's delivered.
Yeah, you know what they say, if it's free, give me 3.
All right, let's pivot away from the Ravens in Baltimore. D-Butch has a question for
Hey,
you.
congrats again, Coach. And I know this is the game that you're trying to get to now, but I'm going to ask you about the Super Bowl because I know you've been grinding tape and watching these games. Which one of these defenses do you think has the edge going into this big game with the Eagles and the Chiefs?
Man, that's a great defense. I think we got, obviously, everybody's been talking about Spags and the Hall of Fame career that he's had and what he's done, in Kansas City for a long, long time and over a great career. Vic Fangio you look at Philly, right? The numbers from a year ago till now, I mean, almost dead last in categories to leading the league in scoring or second in scoring defense, number one in yards allowed. I mean, the development of Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, the job that Howie has done bringing the playmakers in there. So I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. I don't think, the last time we saw these two play, D-Butts in the Super Bowl, we had a high-scoring affair. I think 38-35, was the final, and KC got the edge there. We've got a lot of offensive and great talent on that side, but I think these two defenses, we've talked long and hard. AQ has talked long and hard about this offensive line for Kansas City, the woes that they have. I think they've got that pretty much solidified, with Thuney there at left tackle. But these animals, these freaks that Philly has up front, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Sweat off one end, Nolan Smith off the other, Zach Bond. I mean, they're incredible. They're playing at a high level. So be very, very interested to see. We always talk about the trenches, right? Can Kansas City block that front? Is Vic, because Vic's normally 4-man rush with pressure, right? And deploy 7 into coverage, and make you earn everything down the field, great in the red area. Can they block this front? And then vice versa, Jalen Hurts, Spags, he's going to come in and say, hey, look, 26 ain't beating our ass. Andy Reid's going to tell that team, 26 ain't getting us. So we're gonna allocate as much resources necessary to stop him, and it's going to have to come down to Jalen Hurts' arm, Jalen Hurts' legs, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Goddard down the middle of the field. I look for a great matchup, in base defense with McDuffie following A.J. Brown around, and then obviously on third down nickel situation, he goes into the slot. So there's going to be some great matchups to watch.
Jalen Hurts said he took the straitjacket off and let him spin it a little bit.
Whoa,
in the
right.
NFC Championship. He was, he had it tied up. He was like Houdini. He got out of that thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how Houdini always got out. Didn't he?
Every time.
Every time.
Harry's a dog.
Not every time.
Yeah.
What do you call that thing he was wearing, Pat? Walking into the stadium and
Talking
stuff.
about the
So
Kangol?
cool.
He had the Kangol on.
Man, that thing, I wonder if I could get away with one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what you should be wearing every single week, actually, as the Ravens. Imagine him walking in, Stoke, Kangol. Oh, my God. Jumpsuit, maybe? Just a
Glass of
sweatsuit
wine.
like Adidas with 3 stripes on it. Oh, the Italianness would be oozing from Coach Pagano. Kangol on top there.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know if I can. I may stick to that Commendatore, that Leone, Commendatore, that Italian suit. I'm going to have to break that out.
Yeah, all of them. I didn't know there was a Little Italy in Baltimore.
Me either.
That makes sense. Blue collar town that would have Italians.
Every big city, Pat, has a Little Italy, believe it or not. And this one,
I believe it.
Unbelievable.
I believe the Italians would certainly work their way into every
especially if there's water nearby.
Yeah, need the water. That's the only place you see these damn Italians. That's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Wow.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Speaking of Italians, a man that's going to miss you, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Chuck, congratulations again. Both of our lives got so much better because I don't have to see you anymore. But what did you think about the Josh Allen tush push and kind of the whole refs conversation on the marking of the football throughout the game? Because both refs at multiple times were coming in, a few times they weren't really lining up on the same exact spot. How'd you feel about that? And what do you think about kind of just the dialogue around the referees in general with Kansas City? Because it's getting loud about the entire thing.
Well, they certainly didn't help themselves to quiet the narrative, Con Man. And I'm going to miss the hell out of you. You know that. You know I love you.
Cheers, Coach.
I loved our bantering back and forth. I'm going to miss the hell out of you. So, the tush put number one, you got a 250-pound quarterback. I don't see how you cannot execute this play. Just look at the tape from Philly, right, and mimic. But obviously, KC was on their P's and Q's. You look at all those, those sneaks by Josh. He loved going over the left side, right, the offensive left to the defensive right. They obviously were dialed into that. As far as this call goes, the mechanics were jacked up. Con Man, the mechanics were jacked up. You see these two lines, like the head linesman is up top and then the down judge is down at the bottom, right? So they're walking in. The guy up top has the view of the football. He can see the football. The guy at the bottom coming in, look at that right there. If you pause, the ball he's screened from the ball. He's got the back numbers of Josh Allen there. He can't see it. The guy on the top of the screen, he's got a clear view of that. And so what's got to happen mechanics-wise?
Chris Jones is standing right there. I don't know if that guy up top has a view of it either.
Short.
He override it. Walk in there, and you see old boy down at the bottom. I've got the clear view of the ball. So you say, no, sir. So he goes like this. You know how they go like this? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Move the chains. He's got to override that, and all of a sudden he bows down to the guy at the bottom for some reason. So a total breakdown in mechanics. That should have been a first down, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the fact that is how you see it. I think a lot of people saw it the same way. I think also it's very, as you know, as somebody who spent a lot of time with the officials and replay and everything like that, you would actually be correcting us on that. That was never going to get overturned. Whatever was called on the field was going to remain the call in that particular situation. Kincaid potentially picked up the first down the play before that, and it's the Chiefs. So, obviously the refs are going to be working in the Chiefs' favor, even though there's some calls probably that Chiefs fans say, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Whatever the case, whenever you win all the time, people are going to assume that you're getting assistance because everybody's trying to win. Just like the Baltimore Ravens are going to be trying to get to the top of Lombardi Mountain. Ty has one last question for you here.
Yeah, Coach, I'll reiterate what everyone else has said. Congratulations. Going to miss having you around here. From the last time you coached, obviously you beat cancer. You get to be around your family more. You see your grandkids grow up a little bit. Do you think your temperament / kind of like your outlook on life or philosophy in general, has that changed? Or are you still going to get after people's asses out there? Or do you think your coaching style and the way you're going to go about things is going to change considering everything that's happened to you since the last time you coached in the league?
Hey, Ty, anytime you go through, circumstances and adversity and life-changing, moments, the minute I never really have taken it, any day for granted, any opportunity that I've had, Ty. But walking out of that hospital, the doc coming in and say you're in remission, you can go home. You're gonna have to spend a couple more months, whatever. Yeah, it just gave me greater appreciation and greater perspective. And Pat will tell you this, and D Butts will tell you, AQ. If I didn't say it once, I said it twice, right? We're playing and coaching a kid's game, okay? It's a privilege and not your right to play and coach in the National Football League. And every day we get, not one of these days is guaranteed. Nothing is promised. And that's why we wake up today, we got another Wednesday. Hey, let's kick the living shit out of this Wednesday. And then when we get another day, when Thursday comes, if we get it and we're lucky enough, let's have great enthusiasm for that day. Let's kick the hell out of that Thursday. Yeah, am I going to, get after it? You got to coach these guys, right? We're going to hold guys accountable, do it the right way, build relationships, build them up, point out the thing. Hey, what did you see on this, Kyle? Hey, Marlon, what did you see on the butts? We used to ask butts all the time, butts. What did you see? Why did we do what we did? What was the come? And then when it time for, as long as you build those relationships, ties, and there's mutual respect and trust and love there, then you can pull a guy in an office behind closed doors and have a healthy conversation that's could be uncomfortable, but full of forthright and honesty and all those kind of things. So I can't wait, Ty, and you guys to get over there. I'm headed there on Monday, and this is I've had some other things come by, and they don't feel the same, right? You just know in your gut, like, no, I don't think this is the right, but this one, I mean, just check all the boxes, right? Very, very grateful for this opportunity.
All right, well, good luck. Enjoy it. And let the boys over there know we like them.
Yeah.
We like them. Keith Van Noy, obviously been on the program numerous times. Nobody really else from the Ravens. If you could help us build that relationship over there, we would appreciate it.
Done.
Okay, good.
Done deal.
And if your secondary sucks,
you're going to hear it.
# journalistic standards. We got to do what we got to do.
Coming
Stand
at you.
on business.
That's right. We got to do what we got to do.
Hey, accountability and honesty, right? You guys got to do your journalism, so call it like you see it. Hey, we all know what bad ball looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look right, don't taste right, don't smell right. It sticks out like you know what.
Yeah.
So when we got bad ball going on, I expect you guys to be honest and forthright and say, hey, tighten that shit up, coach.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we will say that. And until then, we'll say congrats. We're so happy for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the new... Go ahead.
Last thing. You know how much I love you, Pat. You know how much I love the boys. This has been, a life game changer for me, being on this olive branch that I know you don't like this thing, but when I said, like on that reel you sent, you got me dying laughing. You got me in tears. It was just incredible. But it was my why, my family and all kinds of things, right? Great perspective and appreciation for what we have, but I am so grateful. And please have me on, every now and then.
No.
You want me to put on the waffle, you want me to do whatever, please, if I still get a chance to come on from time to time, I would greatly appreciate that. But
never again. Never again.
You have no idea what you've done for me, Pat, and you boys. I'd do anything for you guys. You know that.
We love you, Coach. We appreciate you.
Love you, Coach.
We've been very thankful that you chose to hang out with us for so long. You're the man. You're going to do great. We love you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Pagano.
Yeah. Love you, Coach.
Happy for him, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very happy for him.
It's cool.
Miss Tina staying in Boise, going over to Baltimore. Let's clean this place up a little, Chuck. Jesus. Then going back there. John Harbaugh works out every single day. So does Chuck on the Peloton. Excited to see what they do. Wish they would have done Hard Knocks with Chuck in that building.
I know.
Just so you could see him every day. Whenever he said, who can I help, how can I help, is basically his job. How does that normally work in the secondary room, D-Butch?
A lot of times it's two coaches. It'll be like a safeties coach, corners coach maybe. And I know over the last probably 10 years or so, some teams even have like a nickels coach. So I'm sure they'll probably separate it. So like different drills, different teams, different things, but it's usually split like that.
Let's stay in the family. Coach Tom McMahon will remain the special teams coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
Pete Carroll keeps Tom McMahon, whose son is obviously Mitt, who works here at the Thunderdome. Tom McMahon was my special teams coordinator at the Indianapolis Colts. I have a lot of love for him. He is massively successful at what he does. He's about this tall.
Sure.
Literally.
Small guy.
Little sawed off. piece of energy. That guy loves special teams, though. Loves ball. They got a lot of great players over there, so I'm happy he will continue his career with the Raiders. And Matt Eberflus, officially defense coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Congrats to Eberflus getting the gig. He was with the Dallas Cowboys. He was supposed to come up to the Indianapolis Colts with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels turns the plane around. Eberflus stays with the Indianapolis Colts as the DC. Didn't even have a head coach yet. Frank Reich becomes the head coach, keeps Eberflus as DC for the Colts. Eberflus does such a great job with that defense whenever they were, good. The players were great, fun to have in the city, accountable, those types of things. Then he goes up to Chicago, becomes the head coach up there. That goes how it goes. He goes back to Dallas now. I'm very pumped for him to get that gig. What's this mean for Zim? I mean, Zim is available out there?
Yeah, because he was on, I forget who said it. I think it was Schefter as well. He was also on a one-year deal last year because of the McCarthy deal.
Okay, so maybe Liam Coen down there in
Duval
has the opportunity to bring in Zim as the DC. The more you watch that, the more you realize his face knew he was fucking up. Both eyebrows were like, what are we doing? The one eyebrow, and then later the second eyebrow comes and goes, what are you doing? What county is Jacksonville Jaguars in?
Duval.
Goober Tuesday has fed into Andy Reid Wednesday. We'll have Andy Reid in the next hour. Liam Coen might be the next Andy Reid.
You're right, too. Like, if we know anything about Zim, I'm sure they would get along great. That seems like a match made in heaven.
What are you saying?
I'm saying Zim might beat the shit out of that guy in the first day of OTAs. There's a chance.
We don't know that.
He might spit some beach nut right in his eye and say, I'm not listening to you.
Love to spit some beach nut in that dude's eyes, and the Zim boy can survive. The Zim boy can survive. There is a chance. Liam Coen, though, gets along with people. Here's him dapping up the Jacksonville Jaguars as they were coming into the facility after he was named head coach. First, Trevor Lawrence looks like he's recovering from surgery. Hope he's okay. Looks like he's going to be all right. Liam Coen says, what's up, Trev? It's my wife, Ashley, here. Keep her off camera. We don't like the glitz and the glamour. Thanks, social media team. Then he daps up the rest of the boys there. Good, clean daps, I will say, with everybody, which kind of goes into, he didn't say much to Gabe Davis, kind of skipped right over him, and Gabe Davis going to be a weapon for the Jags. I would assume Liam Coen knows that. But remember, Baker likes him. Offensive linemen like him. Mike Evans likes him. Seems like the guys he coaches like him, which is what we have to remember when we want to judge him immediately. AQ, you were not here for Goober Tuesday when we were talking about him being the head coach in Jacksonville. What are your thoughts on Liam Coen?
Seems like a big goofball. It sounds like the players like him, but it sounds like he's rubbing a lot of coaches and front office people the wrong way. So not sure how that's going to bode.
What do you mean by that, pal?
What?
Well, I mean, it sounds like the front office clearly is irate.
In Tampa, that's one place. A front office in Jacksonville loves him.
Yeah. The biggest thing, right, in the NFL is communication, right? You have to be able to communicate. And so as a head coach, there's going to be a lot of tough conversations, right? A lot of tough conversations, whether you cut a guy, whether it's making a decision to promote or elevate or demote somebody, right? But you have to be able to do that. You have to answer the call. You have to make the call. You have to look the person in the eye. You have to have these things. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of that right now. So I hope it goes great for him.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, what do you mean? What do you? Is this from your source? Sis?
No, this is from kind of, but it's also kind of what we read, right? Like the fact that he didn't answer a single phone call the whole next day to anybody from Tampa.
The guy was getting interviewed down in Jacksonville.
If you just have a simple conversation about, listen, hey, I got an opportunity to be a head coach and make $14 million a year. You don't think anybody in that building is going to understand? That's a life-changing opportunity. Sure, man. Just have the conversation.
Okay, just have the convo is all he's saying, con man.
Yeah, he did his entire thing about honesty. I assumed that he had the convo, just maybe not with the right people, and then the people who didn't have the convo with Liam in Tampa might have said, like, hey, what the hell, man? Call me too.
Ty, have you changed your thoughts on what Liam Cohen's going to be? Because we, as a collective unit, said we're going to reserve judgment because we have no idea what coach is going to be good, what coach is going to be bad. There's coaches we thought were going to be absolute ass, turn out to be pretty damn good. There's coaches we thought were going to be great, turn out to be absolute ass. You yesterday made a decision on Liam Coen. Do you want to take that back now?
I don't think I'm ready to do that quite yet. We'll see. I could be dead wrong, and if that day comes, hey, I'll hand up. Because he's a great offensive play caller, and he's a great offensive mind. But again, he's not just talking to the offense. He's got the defense now. And again, we mentioned it, like, who is going to fill out this staff? We're very late in the game here. It seems like all of these guys who like have a bunch of experience and are great coaches. Not that there aren't great coaches everywhere in the NFL, but like, who else is going to be on this guy's staff? He's a first-time head coach still, and he's only got 5 years of NFL coaching experience. And who's going to be the GM? Like, there's more than just calling plays. Like, there's a lot that goes into being a head coach from everyone we've talked to. It's like, hey, you don't realize how much shit's on your plate until you get that job. And then it's like, whoa, I have to do more than just X's and O's here. Like, I'm running an entire franchise.
We think Liam will be able to figure it out. We hope he will be able to. So does Shad Khan. New Orleans still doesn't have a head coach. They still don't have anybody in place, which is wild to think about, even though they're saying Kelly Moe is the leader in the clubhouse, offense coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Who will be on his staff? How will that whole thing go? We're looking up some stats. They have like negative $53 million next year, even with the projected cap of being $275. And I think the amount of dead money they have for the next 2 years, they're number one in the entire NFL force. So that Saints gig is certainly one you're signing up for it, but maybe there'll be some more patience than there is somewhere else because everybody knows that going in. Joining us now, the greatest NFL coach of all time, the greatest NFL general manager of all time, currently the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heel football team. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Bill.
Coach, how you doing?
Good, Pat. How about you? How's it going?
Hey, life is great. So we saw you get back into coaching this year. Pete Carroll obviously gets back into coaching. Our guy Chuck Pagano is getting back into coaching in Baltimore. You football people can't stay away from ball. Is that kind of the lesson here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
How much better is your life now that you're back in with a mission, with a plan, with a program? And how is that all going here in the first few weeks? Maybe, how long has it been now? A month? Month and a half?
Yeah, a little over a month. Yeah, I mean, look, Pat, it's great to be part of a team. And, to work collectively with other coaches, staff members, Mike Lombardi, and the players towards a common goal is really what it's all about. And it's fun to be part of a team. Being on my own was, great for a year, but I'm really happy to be part of the Carolina team.
You continued to act like you were in it, though, right? Throughout the entire year, waking up early, studying film, having projects, things like that? Or did you take some time to yourself whenever you're off?
Well, no, I started with you on the draft. That was a great project, and had a lot of fun doing that, following the draft and the players coming into the NFL. And I've been involved with both college and pro football all year. It was a good learning experience for me and a good opportunity for me to see more college football, go to some games, and but not only that, but just to follow the whole rest of the league instead of one team. When you're with one team, the only team I focused on was my team and the team we were playing, and that just changed every week. Last year was different. I was able to take a perspective, much broader view of college and pro football, and look at different organizations, the way they did things, and just the way that college and football fit together, and also just see what the fan experience was like, what it's like to be a fan and to watch and follow football.
I remember you walking out at the draft, which we're so thankful you did with us. You were fantastic on that. Absolutely crushed all year and on the draft. And you looking with Goodell like, holy shit, this is what the draft is. Like, because you've been in your cocoon up there, doing the draft all the time. Then you get out into the world and it's like, damn, the NFL's doing pretty good here. Now, my question for you, and I don't know how I haven't asked you this, was there anything that you learned from any other teams this past year whenever you're watching how they operate? Because the assumption is everybody would want to learn from you. Was there anything that you saw how a building was operating and were like, damn, I wish I would have done that? Or if I ever run a building, I will insert that into my process?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I learned a lot this year watching a lot of teams, talking to people, but certainly a great experience, and I'm very appreciative of Coach Fish for giving me the opportunity to come out to Washington and spend a little time out there with him and watch his program. But that really showed me how exciting and interesting college football is. You have a lot more time to spend with the players. They develop. You see them just develop more, and they're very eager to learn and try to become NFL players. So that was a great experience for me. And then I was able to visit some other schools as well. Coach Kelly at LSU was, very hospitable as well. And, got to, Rutgers and Coach Shiano. So, I learned a lot from, looking at some of these other programs. I didn't know where it was going to end up, but it was certainly interesting and educational at the time. I mean, Pat, you're always learning, no matter how much we do and how much we think we might know or have experience with. football is always changing all the time. New players, new rules, new things are happening, and the learning part of it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think that's why the greats are great, because you continue to evolve as opposed to being stubborn and stuck in your ways. You're open to new ideas, new concepts, and obviously a new life as a college football coach. Remember, everybody thought you were going to leave UNC because you hadn't signed a contract, and there's these jobs, and then you hadn't put the staff together. And we talked to Lombo and you, and it's like, right now we're not worried about the staff. Right now we're worried about putting the front office personnel, player personnel together. We're worried about the players that we're going to either keep or get in here. Whenever the coaching staff comes, we'll figure that out at the time that it needs to be. Where are you on that front, and where are we in the timeline right now of what you're trying to institute at North Carolina?
Yeah, well, we're all set. We're full speed ahead. Yeah, Pro Football Talk's not a good source for me, but we're this is the last week we can be out. I can be out on the road in January, and then we kind of go to a different model where the student athletes can come and visit us, but we don't see them as much on the road. So we have February to kind of work on our season program. Then we start spring ball in March through mid-April, and so football season we'll be on the field in I don't know, a little over a month. So that'll be exciting, and we're already in the middle of the off-season program now. So the guys are working hard, and we're still recruiting, mostly 26 players, but there's still a few moving parts in the incoming class as well.
Are you getting down underneath the bar down there? Let those kids know you still got it?
Well, I'm underneath the bar. I don't think I still got it, but yeah, I'm underneath the bar.
Hell yeah. Still squatting is unbelievable.
Let's go.
Absolutely unbelievable. We were just talking about, I just asked you about putting a staff together. We were talking about Liam Coen, who just got the head coaching job at Jacksonville. He only has 5 years of NFL experience putting his staff together. D-Butt has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, I just want to ask you, what are some of the challenges when it comes to putting a staff together? You got Liam Coen, his situation being a first-time head coach. I'm sure his phone is blowing up from a lot of his former stops that he's been at. And then this New Orleans job, which hasn't been taken yet, but when it is taken, obviously, a lot of these coaches already have jobs. So what are some of the challenges when it comes to putting your staff together as a first-time head coach?
Yeah, well, one of the big challenges is if the coaches are under contract with another team, which I would say a lot of them are, then you have to get permission. And if you move them up from position coach to coordinator, then you might be able to do that. A lot of coaches that aren't on another team are from staffs who have been released, and either their contract ran out or their teams are replacing them with other coaches, so they're available. And then there could be the player coaches available from college, or maybe that were out of football last year, things like that. So just have to kind of take it case by case. You get a lot of recommendations when you take a job. You probably have I don't know, 200 or 300 messages in the first week from either people who want jobs or people who are recommending other people for jobs, or some version of that. Especially strength coaches, everybody wants to be a strength coach. So I probably have had 100 strength coach applications this year, and when I took the Patriots job, many years ago. But everybody out there who trains somebody can be a strength coach. So there's no shortage of those. But it's really it's definitely a process, and if you don't know people, then the interview process, getting to know them, takes a little time. I'd say, most of the people that I've talked to that have gone through this process would say it usually takes 2 years. That the first year, a lot of your things will work out, but not all the hires will, and then or they'll move on, or that type of thing. And then, by the second year, you probably are closer to getting the staff that you want and that want to be with you. So sometimes it's probably a 2-year process.
Your staff was a lot of familiar names and faces. I assume a lot of people do that in business, but you certainly were a guy that was known for that. The people that are going to coach for Bill are people that either had coached for Bill before or have kind of come up through your entire system. Is it because they understand the strategy, they understand the work ethic? What is it about it? And what was the most important thing to you when somebody would come coach for you?
Just a common vision, good fundamental teacher. Obviously teaching the players is what we do. But, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. And I think as a head coach, you try to put that together so that you have, that your staff is balanced. But really, there aren't too many people on the staff that are that have worked with me before. I mean, obviously we have a couple, but not. There are a lot of. I have connections with some people and all that. Of course, Mike and I have worked together, in the head coach GM model. But most of the rest of the people actually, haven't worked with us before.
Okay, I'm excited to see it all come together in your vision, your eyes. Let's talk about the NFL a little bit. Obviously, we're a little bit over a week out from the Super Bowl. This week right here for a team playing in the Super Bowl, are we trying to take care of all the bullshit? Like, what is the mindset for you whenever your team was preparing for a Super Bowl on this particular Pro Bowl bye week? What do you think Andy Reid and Sirianni are trying to get accomplished in this particular week?
I think that on Monday and Tuesday, a lot of rest and recovery. I think both teams, have some guys banged up. They play a lot of football, but it's really taking care of most of the logistics, handling the, family requests, travel, rooms, tickets, so forth and so on, to try to get all that settled. I would think they would probably try to get most of that done by Thursday, where everybody has their allotment for rooms, tickets and bus passes and so forth and so on, whatever you need down there. And then either on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, depending how the coach wants to structure the week. I think, 3 good days of practice this week are probably where you would get about 80% of your game plan in and practice it. And then once you get down into New Orleans or the Super Bowl city, you maybe save about 20% down there to add in, so that you're not getting too stale. You're not repeating too many things too many times where it's, the 8th time you've gone over it, and then you lose a little bit of the urgency. So maybe you save something down there like, red area, or, a couple gadget plays, or a couple blitzes, or some situational football, things like that. But really, Wednesday is the best day of practice at the Super Bowl city. And then Thursday is a lighter day. That's when the families come in, and, Friday and Saturday are just kind of wrap up days. So I'd say it's like 1.5 good days on Super Bowl week, and call it three really good days in your home city.
Okay, so on that note, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, when it comes to these massive games, obviously the Eagles have added a lot of new pieces, and this is their first year in Philly, but how much does the experience of that big game Super Bowl feel kind of matter? Because everyone on the Chiefs has basically played in the Super Bowl. Obviously the Eagles still have guys from the 2 Super Bowls they've been to in these last 5 years, but how much is that kind of a factor going into this game?
It's look, I don't think it's a bad thing, but the game is about how you play. It's not what you've done or haven't done or anything like that, how much money you make or who made All-Pro or MVP or anything else. It's about how you play in the game. So I've always told my teams, I don't care whether you're a rookie, whether you're a 10-year veteran, whether you're a 15-year All-Pro. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you prepare and play this week. And so, we had a guy play pretty good in 01, Brady, I think his name was. He had never been in a Super Bowl before. We had Malcolm Mitchell, who really had one good year for us. He didn't even play after he played as a rookie. He played one, but without him, I don't think we would have won that Super Bowl. He had some key catches for us. And sure, you have your Bradys and Gronkowskis and Edelmans and Hightowers and those guys, but Malcolm Butler, made one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, and didn't even, he was a replacement at halftime, so he didn't even start the game. So, things like that. I don't think those players should ever be counted out. And I think you never know which one of those guys is going to need to make a key play for you. I think if you look at Kansas City the last couple of weeks, they've had 2 big plays on kickoff return to start the game against the Texans, punt return last week against Buffalo. Nobody's heard of the returner. Nobody's heard of the guys who were on the punt return team or the kickoff return team. It was a great return. It was so well executed by the Chiefs, as they've been doing on special teams. Here comes Watson over from the backside double to make a key block at the point of attack. And there they go down the sideline. Chanel had a big block, and the 2 corners did a great job of vicing Matt Collins on the line of scrimmage. You see, he was the last guy down the field, and this is one of the best cover players in the league. So it's not what you've done, it's what you do this week, and that's about preparation and then ultimately, execution of the game. So experience helps if you use it, but it certainly doesn't, preclude inexperienced players from playing great.
Yeah, some people are just waiting for that big moment to have their biggest game. And before we have our heart out, I have a question. There wasn't a lot of games that you weren't in the Super Bowl, or a lot of years you weren't in the Super Bowl. Would you watch it if you're the head coach? Are you watching the Super Bowl of two other teams playing in it? And how did you treat like Senior Bowl this time as opposed to whenever teams are in the Super Bowl, they don't have as much options, we'll say?
Yeah, well, if you're out of it, I think you get started on the Senior Bowl and some of the college, some of the college players, because it actually comes up on you pretty quick, and you can use your time more efficiently at the combine and in the spring workout period if you kind of have a better idea where you're going. But as you can see right now, there's a lot of turbulence in the NFL, like there always is at the end of the year. Good teams are losing coaches off their staff. Other teams are turning over their staff and bringing new coaches on. People are coming and going. You look 2 years ago when Philadelphia was in the Super Bowl and lost to Kansas City. Then they turn around and 2 days after the season lose their two coordinators. And, now they're kind of, have to retool things. So there's quite a bit of movement at this time of year. And then also you have players coming up that you have to make decisions on in terms of, their contract situation next year. And a lot of times it's good to, if it's clear cut to, do those earlier rather than later if possible. So this isn't really a downtime for the coaches. The Super Bowl is a great event to watch, just, to see how, those two great teams play under pressure. They're obviously the two best teams. They're the two teams that should be there. And you want to see how they compete against each other. But honestly, I'd say the worst part of it is for the teams that aren't there. Teams like Baltimore that, had two big turnovers without really even getting hit, dropping a pass on the goal line that would have put the game into overtime, or Buffalo giving up a 50-yard punt return and can't make a couple of fourth downs, or the Rams that, give up two long runs and fumble a handoff, and then on the last two plays of the game don't block Jalen Carter and have to throw the ball away. Tampa that fumbled a handoff and then fumbled another play with the wide receiver jet sweep, whatever it was, and then fumble the ball down going in to score. Plays like that you have to live with for 6 months, actually longer than that, but until you start training camp again, where you just feel like, we blew the game. We just lost the game and lost it on fundamentals, on ball security, on bad tackling, like the Rams had, like not blocking Jalen Carter. He's lined up on a defensive line, has 3 technique. And he's the best player on the field, and he gets a free run at the quarterback 2 plays in a row on the last 2 plays of your season. I mean, those are heartbreaking, and they're gut-wrenching for the team, because you just have to live with them for a long period of time. And I've been there before. I mean, it makes it for a long off season, but you got to bounce back. But it's tough. It's tough to watch somebody else playing like the Rams. I'm sure that they're sitting there feeling like, we should have been playing in this game, but we just messed it up. And then you take a team like Detroit that had the best year in their history and give up 41 points. And, you're not going to win many playoff games when you can't play defense. So I feel bad for those teams, because and somebody else is going to feel like that the Monday after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 31 teams feel that way at the end of the year. Your team was the one celebrating a lot at the end of the year. We assume you're going to do the same down at UNC. We appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
All right, hour 2, we got Andy Reid joining us.
Hell yeah.
Yes, that Andy Reid. J.J. Watt joining us.
What?
And A.J. Hawk. This is a pretty loaded show. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. No. Roger, good. Shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums out there. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commission.
This is why we're on set?
Yep. You can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you. What? Oh. You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on there, baby.
Good pick!
Thank you,
I'll pick him up.
Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that bat.
All right.
Yeah.
I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Doesn't count.
Big Pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer the players. I think I answer to the owners too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they kicked you out.
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you can't boo.
They're idiots.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the moon about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, anyway, talk to her.
There it is.
Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need preseason.
Waste of time, right, and energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes a Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
Can you talk to the president about having?
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Andy Reid Wednesday, January 29, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is the greatest. We're lucky we talk about it every single day. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt, a man who's a 9-year NFL vet, one of the biggest brains in ball. I assume he might be the next one that they try to poach out of this particular program to be a coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, good to see you. You're battling over there.
Battling, we all are.
We all are.
We all are.
It hit the entire place.
Oh, yeah.
Like an atom bomb.
Yeah. Yesterday, I took a 12-hour coma immediately after the show. And I'm going to be honest, woke up on the other side of it feeling like $1 billion.
Needed.
You guys should maybe think about it. This is the first time I've done that in a long time, but my body, I think, just said, hey, enough for a second. And woke up at about 4:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Just, what happened?
New man.
Brand new. Brand new. Now, still got a little bit of the voice because I was yelling all weekend, but life is good. How could it not be? The Pro Bowl games start tomorrow night. The Royal Rumble is this weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then next week we'll be down in New Orleans at Radio Row, kicking off the week that'll lead to the biggest game of them all, the Super Bowl. Chiefs favored by 1.5 down there in New Orleans. They'll be wearing the white jerseys, which I do believe says that they have like an 80% chance to win over like the last 10 years or something like that. The team that wore the white Spanx looking ones are the teams that win, but that has nothing to do with this Philadelphia Eagles team. They pound a rock. They beat people up. They're not scared to make it a physical fist fight. Now, That leads to this man, 12-year NFL vet, host of In the Trenches, AQ Shipley. AQ, do you feel like a big dumb dipshit because you didn't think the Philadelphia Eagles would be able to win, even though you said they have the best offensive line in the entire NFL?
I don't. I stand on what I said, and that is that they have – yeah, I stand on business. The fact that this Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is incredible. I really do. I think they're incredible. Power rankings – the quarterback still has to win it. He still has to win it. He still has to prove it.
Okay, so you still – I mean, he did last week. 4th down, A.J.
There's
Brown.
one game that matters. There's one game that matters.
The NFC Championship, that was the biggest game that they had this year.
Next game.
They
all matter.
Yeah, they're all – you know why? You know what the biggest game is?
The next one.
Bingo. So you just chose not to watch Jalen Hurts this past week where he was dropping dimes? Devontae Smith on the sideline with the toe tap? Sick cleats, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Great cleats on it.
Yeah.
How about the 4th down toss to A.J. Brown? Needed it.
Buck.
You got it. No problem. The touchdown to A.J. Brown. Threw it to a spot where only A.J. could catch it. I mean, this is a beautiful ball here. Great coverage. No problem. Let me put it in a place where only my guy can get it, scores the touchdown, and he's able to rush for 3 touchdowns or whatever the case is, just like Saquon rushes for 3 touchdowns. You were a little bit of a Jalen Hurts hater, I would say. You were a little bit of a hater. He had his best game there in the biggest game.
I can't agree with you more, but I will say maybe I judged him, and I should have been judged in the straitjacket. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, see, now you're
just being an ass.
Now you're trying to stir up some shit.
I'm just saying.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, he's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
AJ, look at this guy deflecting. You know, he's doing a lot of this right now because he kind of, turned his back on his own gimmick. The offensive line is what wins you games. Philadelphia Eagles got the best offensive line in the entire league. They're not going to win it all, though. How could they? They're not going to be able to do that. Well, they've gone on to win because of the offensive line impounding the rock. They're a 1990s football team, and Saquon Barkley's the most explosive player on the field, both statistically and whenever you look at him optically, the guy can take anything to the house. How are you feeling about this particular game, and how much do you think it comes down to the trench warfare next Sunday?
I mean, I think like every big game, it definitely comes down to who can dominate the O and D lines. That's something for sure that you got to look at. But Pat Mahomes, I think there's something different with him. We all know that. He seems to find a way whenever it seems like everything is against him. He just finds a way to win. He's a winner. But right there, Saquon is what makes the game different, man. Like that's the biggest reason I'm excited about this Super Bowl. I want to see Saquon go to work, see what the plan is to try to stop him. I think it's going to be a good matchup, man. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
The run game can travel. I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes hasn't been able to do his thing no matter what situation you put him in. And obviously, he's already won multiple Super Bowls, and he's in conversation to be the greatest of all time. He's only 29 years old. Okay, he's only 29 years old. Severely underpaid if you start looking at the rest of the market as well, but he doesn't care because he's the perfect superstar seemingly. We'll be talking to Andy Reid here in about 10 minutes. Excited to get his take on Patrick and the team that he has this year. They can win in a assortment of ways. They've proven that not only this year, but also last year. They weren't scared to run the ball 30 times a game last year and win it with the defense. But whenever they say the run game can travel, what does that mean? That means even if you're a little tight, even if maybe you're not clicking, not as smooth, you're able to run the rock. This is something in the first half we need to watch, right? Philadelphia Eagles should be able to move the ball here pretty good.
They should, but again, we've talked about this over and over again. Spags is unbelievable, and he is going to take the Belichick model, and that is make them win with one arm tied behind their back. So how do you do that? You stop Saquon, you load the box, you do all these things. So then what becomes the most important is the receivers. It's the pass game, and see if, exactly what I've been saying, can Jalen beat you?
Well, how come everybody doesn't do it? Isn't that what everybody's doing? I saw it on Get Up last week. They said they need to load the box against the Philadelphia Eagles. Doesn't everybody try to load the box against the Philadelphia Eagles?
No, because they have enough skill on the outside. It's the most expensive offense in the National Football League. They have guys everywhere. They have paid their quarterback. They've paid their receivers. They've paid their tight end. They've paid guys on the offensive line. Obviously, the running back is paid. They got guys everywhere. It's not like you can just sit there and take away Saquon and, oh, by the way, A.J. Brown, Goddard, and Devontae are gone. They're there. They are there. They are all there.
I mean, some teams have loaded the box. So, I mean, there have been situations where it's been 4 minutes. They're trying to put the game 8, 9 people in the box. Saquon still hits 60, 70, 80 yards.
Breaks that first line.
Yeah, once he breaks that first line and he's outrunning angles, this play to start the damn game. But, yeah, it sounds good on paper. It sounds good throughout the week. Like, yeah, let's put 8 in the box. Let's do this. Let's do that. But when you have an offensive line like they do in Philly, and then you have a game breaker like Saquon, it is super, super tough. It then hurts he looked healthy in the NFC Championship game, so I expect him to look even better in the Super Bowl when he's back there and gun, and you got to respect him as a runner too. You're playing 11 on 11 as a defense. That's tough.
Well, and even the last Super Bowl, like the team was built pretty similar. Obviously, Miles Sanders isn't Saquon Barkley. He is much, much better, the best in the NFL. But Jalen still threw for 300 yards the last Super Bowl against the Chiefs. So it's not like he can't do it. It's just going to be one of those games where, I mean, AJ brought it up right away. Like, if Saquon rushes for, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, it's going to be hard to imagine that the Chiefs win that game if Saquon is doing that.
The Chiefs, though, will get outrushed. They'll get outgained. They'll get outwitted. They'll get outplayed even, and they'll still win the game. They have a special it factor about them that doesn't come around often. That is why we're talking about the greatest dynasty in the history of sports if they win 3 straight. We thought the Patriots were going to be the greatest dynasty in professional sports for all time. How do you have a 20-plus year run of success in a league that is built off of parity? If your team stinks, we're going to give you a better draft. It's literally a salary cap. It's set up so teams can always have a chance. But then you start looking at the stats, it's like, well, for 20-some years, it was the Patriots League. And now it feels like it's Kansas City Chiefs League. If they win 3 straight, greatest dynasty of all time, AJ, are you going to crown them? Crown them.
I mean, I'd have a tough time not crowning them. I really would, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not easy, obviously, to win 1, win 2, then win 3. You have to get lucky, I think, injury-wise, but also strategy-wise, you are the target. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been the target for the better half of the last decade, and they still show up and play their best ball in the biggest moments. AFC Championship, they look like the team that we all, kind of hope for them to look like. Will they be able to do it again in New Orleans, AJ?
I think, as Bill Belichick said on this program, I believe last week, like, your secondary has to tackle very, very well. And that's when Saquon gets rolling, you see, like, you can't let these 6-7 yard runs turn into 25, 30-yard runs, or a 3-yard run turn into a 9-yard run. Like, you have to do, it's like those little things throughout the game, I think. And I think secondary coming down and making sure tackles and like the whole, that's why Spags, like as AQ said, Spags is unbelievable what he does, and they're a very disciplined defense. You got to be disciplined, and you got to find a way to get this dude to the ground because he's awesome.
Okay, let's talk about Spags' defense. And I know this was supposed to be part of everything DB, good D, bad D, but it's a massive piece of conversation on the internet. And Dan Orlovsky referenced it yesterday, saying that people are saying Josh Allen should have switched to protection on that 4th down and everything like that in a 2-second period. Those people have no idea what they're talking about, is what Dan Orlovsky said. Instead, the real conversation is what? Can you go back to the beginning of that play? Instead, the real conversation about this play is what, AQ Shipley?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that you see here is you see the condensed split up top, right? The running back, who is the 5th receiver, it's a condensed split, which means he's 2 to 3 yards just outside the tackle. So this would have been a will-free safety blitz. If that receiver...
What's that mean?
Okay, so what that means is if you look over the right guard, you'll see Justin Reed. He is the will as the offense sees that. He's the will defender. Correct. And then the free safety is the guy back to him. So as you see that, he's directly behind him. That would be will free safety. But if that receiver is further out to the sideline, now that free safety comes down because you're not going to blitz him from 15 yards back. So he would now be at 5 yards, which then would make the center declare the will, Justin Reed, over the guard as the Mike linebacker and turn the line that way. And then you would much better be able to pick up this. You still have a guy running free, but it would be the widest guy and not 2 guys up the B gap.
But instead, because he's tight, what happens?
It turns into a corner cat blitz automatically. Will free safety with a condensed split turns into corner cat. And then the fact that Spencer Brown and the Bills do not sift away from the way the center does, you get 2 free rushers right up the B gap.
So this is maybe a play design flaw as opposed to a quarterback check protection flaw.
Specifically against Spags.
Yeah.
Because this is what he loves to do in nut cutting time. Go back to last year's Super Bowl, the play that I think McDuffie tips the ball from Brock Purdy. It's the same exact blitz.
At the 2-minute mark, too. The same
exact time.
Point in the game, too.
It's what he loves to do.
So if it's a tight split, corner will come instead of the safety coming. If they're split out wide, safety will come down, safety will come. Instead, safety swaps with corner once corner blitzes. Now your job is running back who's wide receiver safety as corner comes on.
Yeah, so like AQ's seen it, I guess, from the offensive standpoint. I think from a defensive standpoint, especially with Spags, I think it's called a cat blitz, especially with McDuffie. So he's calling this, and once once Joe Brady brings out this tight formation, it just helps us because if we are split wide, like AQ said, or if it's two receivers, then that's when we switch it and give that blitz to the safety. But there are indicators here. If you go back to the beginning, that a blitz would come. You can only send a corner blitz typically if you have a split safety look because that safety has to get over top of that number one wide receiver. The other part of it is that's Ty Johnson. That's a running back, not a badass at receiver, so we're not worried about blitzing our best cover guy and leaving him one-on-one in space in 4th and 5. And then Shakir being at the snap of the ball 3 or 4 yards behind Josh Allen. So a lot of people are saying just swing it out to him. If you swing this ball out to him, you have to flip your hips and actually make that throw. And then you got 3 or 4 guys rallying to make this tackle probably before that 4th down marker. So I think the formation, the play call, it played right into Spags' hand because if you – like this is what Spags wants to do. He wants to get his DBs involved in the blitz. He loves sending athletes after the quarterbacks, especially in critical moments of the game.
Hall of Fame coaches across the board for Kansas City. I'm not saying that's not the case for Philadelphia. We will see. Fangio certainly going to be in conversation. Sirianni,
without a doubt.
The way his career has started, without a doubt. Kelly Moe, maybe. Kellen Moore has a chance to get into the convo. We'll see how it goes if he ends up going to New Orleans. Stoutland, the offensive line coach, obviously. Yes, agreed. He's a Hall of Famer. But if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, special teams coordinator, Hall of Famer, Tobe. Defense coordinator, Spags, Hall of Famer. Andy Reid, Hall of Famer. That helps, H. That helps, especially in those massive moments of an AFC championship game, H.
Well, have you just listened to the Chiefs players talk about Andy Reid? He's so humble about it when he redirects it. But listen to the defensive players talk about Spags and watch their interactions with Spags. It's like Spags is the man. He is the leader. They listen to him, but it's seems very collaborative as well, to where he actually listens to them and listens to them in the game too, and adjust off of what they're seeing out there.
What was that last year? He said normally you have 2 guys that are coaches on the field on defense, that you can kind of throw anything out. He said all 11 guys are coaches on the field for me. That's very abnormal, and we certainly take advantage of it. Feels like it's the same thing this year with that defensive squad.
Yeah, and to Bill's point earlier about the players and everything, how much experience matters. I would just, as a fan, think that coaching is where that really matters. Because guys like Andy Reid, he's not going to shrivel up and pucker up and get all nervous in certain situations. Same with Spags. Some of these younger coaches who are getting in their first Super Bowl, we always talk about, well, maybe the moment just got too big for him. Or even a guy like Sean McDermott, who has been there time and time again, but hasn't been able to get over the hump. Joe Brady's a super young guy. You don't see Andy Reid or Spags. They're not making those. We're never talking a Monday after a game well, the moment was too big for Andy Reid. He kind of he shriveled up. He made the wrong call. It seems like he's been there enough times, and so is Spags. Those guys always make the right decisions in the biggest moments.
When Spags saw that tight split,
you play it right to us. And
they're sitting on the sideline just going, yep. And Reid's on there Spags.
Trying to be quiet, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody play cool, please. Yeah, I mean, that is, and it's all happening within spur of the moment.
The play before they brought 7. They sent 6 or 7 to play before on the 3rd and 10, I think. They picked up 5 yards on a quick screen, but you come out a tight split because you think about if you're playing Madden. If you go empty, you go 5 wide, and you're trying to send a blitz, it's hard for you to disguise that as a defense. But once things get tighter, it's easier for us to disguise and communicate, switch responsibilities when the offenses are tighter.
We hate the play call.
I hate the play call for Buffalo. For a defense, I love it.
You hate play call.
So the biggest thing when you play Spags, he likes to pressure and he loves to bring zero. That was literally our entire game plan when we went against them in the Super Bowl. It's he's going to bring pressure, he's going to bring 7, he's going to bring 0. So we have to have an answer. So hey, how many times are we going to need to call Gronk back into protection? How many times are we going to have a back in protection? So by going empty in that moment and nut cutting time, knowing he's going to bring something, and the O-line has them all, and you only got 5, and they're going to bring something, some type of zone pressure, some type of zero, some type of something, you got to have an extra guy.
I love that he's so aggressive, especially in the biggest moments. That's why he's going to go down as a GOAT. There's a lot of them over there in Kansas City. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4-time Super Bowl champ, 3 as a head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, 1 as an assistant coach for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid.
Hey, coach. All right, guys. How you doing?
Amazing. Thank you for taking time out of your life and joining us. We're obviously massive fans, and we know you got a lot going on, so thank you. Let's get right into it. We were just talking there about that fourth down play where Spags brought the corner blitz off the tight split. How nice is it to know that Spags is your defensive coordinator, and what are the conversations between you and he, strategy-wise, going into each game?
Yeah, so Spags and I have been around each other for 40 years. People probably don't know that, but all the way back to when we were college coaches. And so I kind of know exactly what he's thinking at what time of the game. And I have full trust in him. And whatever he likes in those situations, he dials up and goes. I'm not a restrictor on that.
Yeah, I love that. And then your special teams coordinator, Tobe, he's a Hall of Famer as well. You guys have gotten massive special teams plays in seemingly every game you've had over this recent dynastic run you're on. How have you been able to piece together this staff and then keep them? You know, Spags just interviewed, I think, for Jacksonville and for the Jets. Tobe, I assume, has gotten interviews as well. But you three are a master class at very important spots. What are your thoughts on Tobe and your special teams?
Yeah, I think the world of Tobe. He's another one I've been around with for 40 years. He and Spags actually went to Springfield together and played, and then Tobe transferred to UTEP, and I was the coach at UTEP. So we're all kind of intertwined there somewhere, and we know what each other's thinking, and we're able to just kind of move on with it. Yeah.
It has to be great to do it alongside people that you've known for so long. It's been fun to watch your team do their thing. Last year, the big conversation about your team was, they're winning in a different way. You know, they're handing the ball off. They're playing good defense. This year, you guys continue to have the best record in football, and they said, this team stinks. They're not playing good at all. They're not doing this. What do you think it is about your team and why you are able to win in such a variety of ways, Coach?
Yeah, well, Shipley told me I needed to run the ball some more. So he said, start acting like an old lineman and run the ball a little bit.
You're an O-line guy at heart.
Yeah,
That's right. So, but listen, we had a few injuries at the wide receiver spot. We were bringing guys in. So it sure helped to have that run game available. And the linemen do love doing it, and they do it well.
Coach, whenever you think about Patrick, obviously, we just talk about his greatness and how he has this clutch gene and everything like that. What do you think gets left out of the conversation about Patrick? Is it how good of a teammate he is, his work ethic? What do you think doesn't get mentioned enough about the guy who's trying to win another Super Bowl and he's only 29?
Yeah, well, you know the kid. And so he's a great kid. He grew up in a locker room. He's humble. What a phenomenal teammate. He's always complimenting his guys. He kind of knows when to pull on them and when to back off and compliment. He's just got a good way about him, and he's smart on top of all that and is a very hard worker.
Do you still draw up random-ass plays, like even at this stage of the season? Are we still drawing up ridiculous plays to maybe drop them into the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, that's the fun part. So I've got these coaches here that have creative minds, and they love doing it. We get the players involved too. It doesn't matter if it's a lineman or a quarterback, whoever, if they've got something good, let's put it out on the table and see what you got. And I've got 51% of the vote, but I'm open-minded with it.
What was it? Chili dog, corn dog, hot dog, corn dog, whatever it was. Feels like the names of these plays are also legendary. Wasp, from a couple years ago, we've obviously learned about. Can't wait to see what you drop for New Orleans. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Chris Jones? Watching the guy play, it's a lot of fun. We see how emotional he gets after big wins, and it seems like this dude really cares about the team and wants to win. Can you say, what does that mean for your defense? Obviously, he's such a physical force. I know, speaking to O-linemen around the league, they obviously hate playing you guys because blocking this guy is a disaster. But what does he mean to that defense?
Yeah, listen, you and that guy next to you over there, you guys would love to have him in front of you. He's one of those kind of guys that just goes, and he's got that pass rush ability. He's a bigger human being than I think people think. He's a big old kid and loves to play. He's really developed into a leader over the years. He was a kind of a goofball when he was younger, but he's turned it into being a real positive leader out there, and I appreciate that part. So he's an all-pro player. You see him play every Sunday, and that's what he is.
He cries national anthem He cries whenever a big play is made. He cries whenever you guys are going to the Super Bowl. It's like, I love how emotionally invested he is in your program and your team. Does that make you feel good that your biggest players are that bought into your program and everything like that when you see stuff like that?
Yeah, listen, that's real too. I mean, he gets fired up for it, and I'm good with it. He can cry all he wants to cry. I love the kid, and he can whatever. He's not crying when he's sacking the quarterback.
No, yeah, everybody else is crying. Yeah, especially about the refs. Hey, have you heard that conversation? You know, you and the refs are meeting like what, tonight for the Super Bowl? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
I try not to pay attention to any of that stuff. So
it's loud, Coach. It's loud. It's stupid. This happens whenever you win, though. It happened for the Patriots for 20 plus years. Let's talk about another veteran on your team. AQ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, congrats on going to another Super Bowl. Let's talk a little bit about Joe Thuney. Obviously, going to his 6th Super Bowl on 2 different teams, but can you just talk a little bit about what he means to that team and the character that it shows he has, being able to move from basically a Hall of Fame type guard out to tackle?
Yeah, you know that's a tough deal, man. It's a lonely area out there at the tackle spot. There's normally the other 2 spots you've got friends on both sides. Out there, you don't, and it can be a short corner at time if the tight end's not next to you. So it's you gotta you gotta be wired right for that thing and have enough athletic ability to play it, and he's got all of that.
How's that conversation go? He says, I'll go out to tackle if we need it. Do you ask him? How do we make that decision?
Yeah, he's willing to do anything. I mean, that's how he's wired. He's just, he says, wherever you need me, whatever you need done, I'm good to go. He's been an all-pro center. He's been an all-pro guard, and he probably would be an all-pro tackle if he was out there long enough.
Now he might be a Super Bowl champion tackle. What a career he's piecing together. Got a tough defense coming up. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, Coach, we were talking about your defense and Spags. And on the other side, Vic Fangio, he's kind of turned this Philadelphia defense around. What's the biggest challenge facing this Eagles defense in the Super Bowl a couple weeks?
Yeah, man, that guy, I can't get rid of that guy. He's everywhere. And he's tough. He's got a great scheme, and that defense plays their heart out. That's a tremendous defense. Offense too, but that you're asking me about the defense, and Vic is as good as anybody in this league, man. He everywhere he goes, he puts together these defenses that are tough.
Yeah, and when they ran his ass out of Miami, they thought it was Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instead, he goes to Philadelphia, and they're flying around. Let's talk about one of the GOATs. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Coach, throughout the last couple of years, it seems like when it comes to Travis Kelce, people are saying, maybe this guy's lost a step or two. His production isn't quite the same. And then the playoffs roll around, and he turns back the clock, and he looks like, primetime Travis Kelce. What is about him that makes it, when the playoffs come around, that he's going to produce, he's going to have 100-yard games, and in the biggest moments, he's always going to be there and come up big for you guys?
Yeah, listen, he's a great player, and he's got guys around him now. We're a little bit healthier, and so these defensive coordinators, their whole focus isn't on just Trav and stopping Trav, and so it frees him up a little bit. He hasn't changed anything from before. I mean, he can still do all the same things, but when he's got a couple guys on him, then you go a different direction and have to work another area. But he's still really a good football player. Keeps himself in great shape. Never wants to miss a rep in practice. Hates coming out of the game. I mean, absolutely hates coming out of the game. And so I love that part of him. He's one of our team captains. Been voted that for the last how many ever years here, and just does a good all around job there.
He told us that he's feeling 22. Jamming Taylor a little bit. Another guy.
I got you.
Yeah, you get it. Another guy who's actually 22, I think. Xavier Worthy. How first of all, whenever you guys draft him, trade up with the Bills to draft him, do you think to yourself, how come everybody lets us get the fastest guys all the time? And whenever you get him on your team, does your brain just immediately start cooking up ways to get him the rock?
Yeah, I mean, Matt Nagy does a good job with that. He puts him in a lot of different positions where he can operate, and the kid is willing to do it. I would tell you that having Hollywood here has really helped that part. I mean, Hollywood wants to play every down. He wants to play every spot. He's a smaller guy, so he he fits in there and kind of the same body type. And likewise with Deshaun Jackson, I was lucky to have Deshaun, and we put him everywhere, and he was an every down guy, and that's what Worthy wants to be, and he's willing to work at it.
Yeah, and your work with Tyreek obviously is well documented. I mean, the fastest guys in the league always find their way to an Andy Reid offense, and it seems like it's cheating, but it seemingly also works. We asked Coach Belichick about the advantages of having a Super Bowl experienced team. For you, do you think there is any advantages to your team understanding what this next week and a half is going to look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, it does help. We're playing another Super Bowl tested team, so it's they were there one of the times that we were there, and listen, I think in this case maybe it doesn't really matter, but it's going to be two good football teams playing each other. It's going to be great for the National Football League and most of all for the fans out there. So, and it'll give you guys something to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully in a good way, right?
We need that, Coach. We've been talking about your team a lot with how great they are, and we can't thank you enough for stopping by for a quick trip and a quick break in the itinerary. Safe travels down to New Orleans, and good luck to your team.
All right, listen, I appreciate it. You guys are doing a nice job, man. Great job.
Hey, we're trying. You too. You guys are doing a great job. Yeah, phenomenal.
I appreciate you, Pat McAfee. Doggone it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Andy Reid. We appreciate you, Coach. That was awesome. So, there's no time in the schedule for today.
No.
I sent a text over. Hey, is there any chance Coach Reid could stop by in the next few days? It's a lot. We can make 10 minutes today, though. If you can promise us 10 minutes, I'm like, definitely. We'd love for him to stop by. So we just did a rapid fire there of Andy Reid. He's close to the vest with everything, obviously, close to the vest with everything. But Xavier Worthy there, falling to his team and then them trading with the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, you got immediately reacted as soon as it happens on draft night. But it's like, how come the fastest humans in the NFL always find their way to the Andy Reid offense? And then Nagy, he's giving credit to, which I respect and appreciate. Congrats to Nagy doing his thing. It's like they utilize it too. They use every single piece of grass on the field, and they really put defenses in terrible positions.
He is such a smart coach, and I think what
you played for him?
I played for him for 2 years, and that was kind of cool that he remembered because it was a very brief time in my career, and the fact that he even remembered my name was actually kind of cool. But at the end of the day, whenever
look at that, it's cool. Yeah, she remember you.
Yeah, I mean, I literally was on the practice squad there. Like he didn't have to remember me whatsoever. But getting back to playing for him, the one thing that I remember about him was. We talk about the run game, and like he does not look at just handoffs and pitches to the running back as the run game. He looks at those swing passes out in front. He looks at getting the ball to the perimeter. Those are all extensions of the run game. He is not big on, hey, let's give this guy 25, 30 carries. That's not the way he sees this. It's how many times can we get our guys the ball out in space, even if it's just perimeter throws or whatever. It might be behind the line of scrimmage. It might be on the line of scrimmage, but he looks at all of those as extensions of the run game.
Super duper accountable guy, right? Like that's his thing.
Yeah, and listen, like if you even watch the last couple plays, yes, super accountable, but he also coaches his guys so hard, and they're always prepared for the moments. Like if you look at that play where it was the fullback and they run the rollout and they get the first down late in the game. Yep. They run to the line of scrimmage. They get out of the line of scrimmage. They hide. DeMar Hamlin gets lost in the sauce, right? And then you get a wide open guy. When they run the little mesh route to win it to a P. Ryan, right? He comes across. You get the three receivers going this way, and they get picked. So many guys miss that pick. They miss the pick, but everybody is so well coached. They do their job, and it doesn't matter when.
And even to trust them. Trust that guy in that moment. And you talked about even like Worthy and the extension of the run game. Like their pass game was, even with Worthy, he didn't have a ton of downfield catches this year. Hollywood didn't. He was obviously wasn't healthy, but a lot of their pass game is horizontal. Crossers, just pick, getting the ball in these guys' hands, and then getting in the third and manageable, converting third downs. and taking care of the football. That's kind of the theme of both of these football teams going into the Super Bowl, taking care of the football and then taking it away on the defensive side.
Chiefs are favored by 1.5. Let's head over to Hammer Dahn for some more gambling news on the big game next Sunday.
Yes, they are favored by 1.5 across the board. All books have it at that. The total is 49.5. As you would predict, the public is hammering the over of 49.5. 75% of the public is on the over. 80% so far is on the Eagles early betting.
No. 80%. This is very early.
Yeah, very early. I mean, as you get into the second week and those huge $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, all those $1 million bets come in, that'll change a lot. Some of the player prop stuff that I was looking at, Dallas Goedert right now is the most bet on player prop of his over 50.5, I believe, receiving yards. The Chiefs are 32nd in giving up yards to tight end, so I believe that stat has leaked out there, so that's probably why there's a lot of potential on Goddard right now. The other interesting one is Saquon, that man right there. I think his over-under is 112-ish, somewhere around there, different books.
That's in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. And the thing is, the Chiefs do not, this playoff, this Super Bowl run that they've been on for the last few years, this dynasty that they've been on, they do not give up 100-yard rushers. It hasn't happened in years and years and years. So that is something to watch, and there's just more and more trickle. Oh, a fun one. Kicker, Eagles. Why can I not think of his name?
Jake Elliott.
Jake Elliott. His total is set at 6.5 points over-under. He's gone over that in 7 straight games, so that was just something else that we were looking at going forward.
Okay, and I believe AQ just looked up another stat to kind of piggyback off what you said about Spags' defenses.
Since 2019, they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's 6 years ago.
Sheesh.
That's
How
6
many times
AFC championships.
They face
Saquon Barkley. Yeah, well, he was on the Giants, so he wasn't in playoffs.
No. Did face Derrick Henry, though.
When Derrick Henry was doing it. That was back when it all started.
Yeah.
That was when this whole thing started, when he was with the Titans. Then Tannehill would get $100 million, and Derrick would get $50 million. And then now they would fire Vrabel, and Derrick Henry would go to Baltimore Ravens. Where Chuck Pagano is, AJ. How about that? Chuck going back to work in there.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, you guys talked about it when he was on earlier. Yeah, the fact that Chuck is going back, it does seem like the perfect fit for him. And you joked with him. You said, "Man, you're glowing, Chuck," but he was. He legit looked like this dude. Seemed very, very excited to get back out there and start coaching people up. And I know Ty asked him about perspective. He's still going to get on them and jump dudes. I think Chuck is still going to have plenty of fire in his coaching.
First day back after he beat leukemia. Okay, punt period, first period. I think I've told this story before. He's bald, okay, just came out of chemo and everything like that. I hit some shank, maybe. Something happened. And he looks at me and goes, "Let's fucking go." And I'm like, aren't we just happy to be alive right now? Aren't we just happy to be alive? We got a game to win. We got a game to win. Loves ball, loves coaching, loves making people better, which I think is why he's so joyful, because he has that mission yet again. Bill Belichick has come on here every single week, and there's been numerous weeks where Bill is clearly not thrilled that he is joining us. He is,
Sure.
He is certainly minds potentially in other places. Then whenever he gets that North Carolina job, that next time he was on, it was like he was literally floating above it. It was like, I'm back into having a reason almost and a why. And I'm excited for all of them. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a member of the Bull Ring of Honor down there in Houston for the Texans. Ladies and gentlemen, the owner of the Burnley soccer squad, Raise the Clarets, J.J. Watt.
Yay!
Raise them.
Good afternoon.
Raise them.
Up them.
Up the Clarets. Of course.
Up them.
Up them. How are we doing? How are the Clarets doing? Have they been upped? Are we upping the shit out of these Clarets?
Oh, we're just setting club records for shutouts, 7 in a row. We've only given up 9 goals in 26 matches, so no big deal.
Hold on. This is the, if he doesn't let up a goal the rest of the year, you have to go play for the Bengals guy.
Yeah. Starting literally to get a little more concerned about it here as we go, because Leeds was Leeds was top of the table. It was a great matchup between two teams at the top of the table. They didn't put one past him, and we don't have anybody at the top of the table coming up. So it's getting a little dicey here. We've only given up 9 and 26. The ratios are starting to get a little wild.
Wow, that's crazy in soccer to only give up 9 goals in 26 games.
Yeah.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Crazy. Cagey.
That is a lot of cagey.
Literally a record in English football history, tied for the record. So there's 28 games. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a record.
Up,
so we're doing pretty
up
good.
them.
This guy
Up
can stop
them.
him.
Up them. Why are you saying it's getting dicey? Don't you want to go play for the Bengals? It's a beautiful city over there. Beautiful team. I'll go.
I don't want to tackle. I don't want to be hit anymore. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go do a field goal block meeting. I really have no interest in those.
Okay.
Don't want to stay after for the PA meetings and.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I just really enjoy setting my own schedule and doing what I like to do, and generally don't love all those things and having a guy count my reps as I do pull-ups in the weight room, you know?
Yeah. So you just want to play Pro Bowl football, sounds like. You just want to play Pro Bowl football. You know, we don't want to tackle. We don't want to be held accountable. We don't want to do any of that. I obviously had a chance to play in a Pro Bowl game with you. Late in the fourth quarter, I was trying to get you back on the field with Andrew and with the Pouncies, I believe I was trying to get back on the field because if we were to win, that'd be a $40,000 difference for me. And although you didn't care, I certainly did. And I think you took the Pro Bowl very seriously. You were the player MVP in 2015, I do believe, of the Pro Bowl. And obviously for the last 10 years, 15 years, the Pro Bowl has certainly become something that not a lot of football people are proud of. Now, can't blame the players for not wanting to get injured. Can't blame the players for what it has become. And obviously the NFL isn't the only league that's trying to figure out their all-star game. But yesterday, whenever Drake May gets announced as a Pro Bowler after winning
2 games,
and obviously I think Drake would even say he didn't plan on becoming a Pro Bowler, you put out a tweet that said, you know what, let's just start calling it the Participation Bowl instead of the Pro Bowl. This used to mean something. I heard it actually in his voice say, this used to be special. This used to be something awesome. What are your expanded thoughts on the Pro Bowl, and is it savable? I don't think it is. I don't think there's any right answer, Jage.
I think it's okay to just admit that something has run its course. I think there was obviously a time where it held a serious level of prestige and honor, and guys went and thoroughly enjoyed it and played and put in some great effort. I mean, obviously the Sean Taylor clip comes to mind. But I think over the years, the way the business has grown and the way that the risk level has gone through the roof for if you're a guy in a contract year or if you were, God forbid, to get hurt in that Pro Bowl, what it means for your next season, what it means for your career, for these teams. It just does not make sense. It just is what it is. So understandably, that's why they've gone to this flag, playing capture the flag format, which is, fine, well and good.
It's flag football. It's in the Olympics. Please, I'll have you know.
Okay. But anyways, we've gone to whatever this is. So I get it. It's just, but do not, we can't be calling guys Pro Bowlers. We can't be saying this is a Pro Bowl, this is a Pro Bowl lineman. This is a Pro Bowl tight end. He's got 3 Pro Bowls. The voting process from the beginning we should discuss, but that's its own right thing. But just this whole thing, it's come on, what are we doing here? We're doing it for the commercial dollars on a couple million viewers on a random ass Tuesday that nobody's watching. A couple guys run around.
What should they do? What do you think they should do, physically? What could they do that we would watch?
I literally don't know. That's why I said I think it might be just okay to admit that something's run its course. You're never going to get rid of it because it still makes money. I'm not an idiot. It still is a television show. There's an audience and there's commercials for it, which is great. That's going to happen. But
oh yeah, Big Spike is about to be awesome, Jade. You've never seen it. Maybe don't judge it before you get a chance to see it. Linemen are going to be spiking balls onto a machine that measures the amount of power. And then how about helmet harmony? This game shows players' knowledge of their teammate.
Love that.
Okay.
Let's embarrass some guys.
Yeah, relay race. That'll be fun, because are we passing a baton? Are we doing the entire thing? Track baton for the NFL, and then satisfying catches presented by Snickers. Wide receivers, tight ends, and corners are put through a timed catching obstacle course, and then obviously the quarterback carnival is what they should be calling that one. Dan Orlovsky stole the show last year, which once again goes back to JJ's point. If Dan Orlovsky McCarthy is the one stealing the show. Maybe we shouldn't be doing head-to-head. You got a Madden game. That's fun. That's good content. Perfect. Punters and non-punters compete to punt footballs into 6 large cups. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be good. The great football race, a 5-leg course that tests everything from kicking to agility to strength, a decathlon of sorts around football, tug of war, and then obviously flag football. It's the Pro Bowl game.
Let's go.
Love it.
Is this broadcast on ESPN? Is it broadcast
Pro Bowl game, Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl game's a Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl game's a Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl game. It's the Pro Bowl games, Jage. Yeah, it's on ESPN. Yeah, we're a part of the problem. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Starts tomorrow night. 7 o'clock Eastern. Be a friend, tell
It's
a friend.
okay for me to admit that I don't like it or agree with it, and also I don't have a solution. So that I don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is.
You're part of the problem, man. You know, you're in the problem business. I'm in the solution business. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for that second page of games, I would have been out. But once they turn this one right here is what really put me Pump Perfect.
Where's the 3-legged race? You guys were talking about this 3-legged race.
I think that's part of the football race. That's part of the football race.
Is that a one-man or a two-man race?
Hi-yo! Depends on who it is, obviously, Judge. But, yes, I concur. I think we all do. And this is the NFL, and I assume ESPN and all of its partners trying to figure out how we keep this as something that is of importance. And to your point about millions of people watching, this can outrate every NBA game, every single baseball game, every single NHL game. And, it is something that has a lot of history, being a Pro Bowler, to your point. We were the first.
Yeah, guys got to stop putting it in their contract, by the way, because you're going to get screwed on it. Like, don't put Pro Bowl in your contract because of the way the voting goes and everything. Like, even if you're very deserving, you might not get it. So just if you're a player out there, recommendation, probably wouldn't put Pro Bowl in there as an escalator.
Well, when we were growing up, the Pro Bowl out in Hawaii with the quarterback challenge and everything, and the 40-yard dash and the fastest man, yada, 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 the obstacle.
So cool. Larry Allen putting up 45 reps on the bench.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was like dream, like I dreamed to make the Pro Bowl someday in Hawaii. And then I made it my first year, and we were in Phoenix. Remember, it was like 24 degrees. We had to drive 3 hours into the desert for our practice. And there was really no events. There was no pool, and they didn't even rent out the entire hotel. You remember there was another conference happening in the hotel, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? They didn't want me to go pour concrete
humanity.
out in the middle of the desert or whatever.
Humanity.
It's like, I'm not doing that. I think I was up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and I skipped the full
community event.
Yeah, I skipped I was up for Walter Payton Man of the Year, and they were like, "All right, Tuesday morning, you're going to go out and you're going to pour concrete in the middle of the desert." And I said, "No, I'm not." And they said,
"Bus was a little light that day. Bus was a little light that day."
See, Jage, I knew you were going, so that's why I said no. And I had to do a Rich Eisen 40-yard dash to make up for it, for St. Jude or whatever the case. And it was me. I think Witten was there. And then who's the DB that ripped Crabtree's?
Talib?
Yeah, Keep Talib. I'm like, God, we weren't pouring concrete? Nope, not me neither. All right, let's go ahead and do this. So, my kind of lost its luster immediately as soon as I got there. I'm like, what are we doing? What is this? Is the Pro Bowl. So if the NFL wants players to take it serious, what I would suggest is you take it serious, NFL. And if you want it to be a real thing, I think we're going to have to act like it's a real thing as opposed to what it has become. But nonetheless, congrats to Drake May making a Pro Bowl.
Hell yeah, Drake.
AJ has a question for you, JJ.
Jage, getting back to this Super Bowl game, let's say you're playing and you're trying to defend Saquon Barkley and what he's doing. As a D lineman, I guess, D lineman, DN, we know we move you everywhere. How does that change your game plan when so there's certain times that would be passing downs, I think, for other teams that might not be with Saquon. Does that slow your rush down at all? And how do you stop a guy like Saquon?
Yeah, it purely comes down to team defense. Every single person has to be in their gap. I know that there's times that this is rich coming from me as a guy who made some plays by, doing some things unconventionally. But it's full team defense. Everybody has to be in their gap. Everybody has to know exactly where they need to be, what gap they're covering. And he's talked about it before. Some of his biggest runs are when he's setting you up. He's faking into one gap and bouncing out into the other because he saw something earlier in the game that he could take advantage of, or he could get you to commit down into a gap that might not be your own and then bounce out to the one you're supposed to be in. So It purely comes down to every single guy combining to create a wall that he can't get through. But also, you have to be realistic. He's Saquon Barkley. He's going to get some runs. He's going to break some. You can't let that discourage you. You can't let that affect you as the game goes on. You have to just go out there and keep playing. And to your point about third downs or passing situations, that's very real. Like, there's no doubt that we try to get to third down so that we earn the right to rush the passer. So when you get there, you're geeked up. You're ready to go. You're in your pass rush stance. And sometimes that's when it's the easiest because you're creating seams to run right behind you. So it's just about trying to put them in a situation, also hoping your offense puts up some points so that they can't just keep running the ball.
Geeked up, geeked up, geeked up, and then they pound you right in the mouth.
Yep.
That is, Lions were doing that this year.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles were doing that this year. Whenever you have a talented offensive line, you can certainly pull that off. AQ says the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line in all of football. He didn't expect them to win this many games, though, Jade. So tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense.
I feel like I've heard AQ say 5 different teams this year had the best offensive line.
Well, we had a week.
Well, that's because it was week to week, if you paid attention.
Well, he did.
Oh, I mean, I'm literally on the show with you, so I do pay attention. But so currently, they are. Are they this week's best of the 4 remaining, or are they the best of the whole season? Where are we at?
So at the end of the regular season, I did the season, and I said Philly was the best of the season.
Yeah, not just week to week.
But where was he in your power rankings?
I think 9 times they were the best during the year.
And then
in week to week.
How far ahead of the Lions were they?
So the Lions were 8. So I had literally Eagles Lions. It was 1-2.
Yeah. And then he said Eagles can't win, though, in the playoffs because Jalen Hurts can't play football good.
This guy sucks.
And then Jalen Hurts comes out and slices and dices, and he still just refuses to believe his eyes. So there's a little stubbornness. He's a little conflicted.
I really liked earlier in today's show when AQ gave his take on the corner blitz, the safety blitz, or the will blitz turning into the corner blitz, and then D-Butt came on and said, no, that wasn't actually that. It was just a straight-up corner blitz. I was hoping for a little more feud there.
I don't think that's what was said at all.
Well, I mean, there's a chance.
I think you said the exact same thing.
Different perspectives.
Yeah.
Different perspectives.
Jades, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think about that particular?
I have no idea. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know shit about those corner blitzes because I never had to worry about it. So I don't know which person is right. I would love for you guys to battle it out and get to an answer.
We should have asked Andy Reid.
Should have.
We should have said, hey, was that
He
called?
would have told us.
Or, yeah, he didn't tell us shit.
No.
I mean,
He didn't tell you shit.
Not nothing, brother. Not nothing, brother. He didn't say anything. We could have asked him what food was today. Well, we're going to eat the food that we eat. Yeah. We're going to eat the food we eat, and then we're going to dump it out later. Standard human stuff. And then, it should be good. All right. Conman has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah,
You're getting fucking murdered.
Yeah, holy shit. I can't believe some of the atrocities you are claiming on AQ today. I'm embarrassed for AQ as a friend. But,
Oh, my God. What a tough day for AQ.
Yeah.
Tough day.
I'm embarrassed, trust me.
Oh,
He might be right. I don't know. Who says D-Butt's right? We don't know. We don't know who's right. AQ could be right.
Did they disagree?
Yeah. D-Butt said it was a cold corner blitz. AQ said that it was since the split was in, bang, corner comes anyways. Yeah, so
man,
we'd have to ask Spags, and he won't tell us. He won't. So I don't know if we'll ever get the right answer.
We won't.
But Jade certainly says
AQ's wrong.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't say he was wrong.
You
did. He didn't.
You did.
I enjoyed.
You got to get their shtick. Their shtick is just like trying to
our shtick.
Yeah, just pour gasoline on fires. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Stick.
This guy's so pissed.
Yeah, so mad. Go ahead, Connor.
Your stick is acting like you're not mad. That's
shit.
It's okay, brother. JJ, a lot of first-year head coaches, also some guys kind of coming back. Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel. How do you think those meetings and everything is going to look for those new teams? Shoddy in Dallas, and then essentially they're saying Kelly Moe also in New Orleans.
The first meeting for a new head coach is always interesting because it gives you a snapshot. I mean, it's the whole first impressions. You only get one shot at them, and it gives you a snapshot into what you should expect throughout their tenure. Some guys come in pure fire and brimstone, motivational. And you have to remember, this is happening in OTAs. So this is going to happen in probably April. You're going to come in. That's the first time you actually get to talk to your full team and be in front of them. So they have a lot of time to think about this, to plan it out. And some guys come in purely motivational. And that's a little tough in April because you're getting everybody fired up to go do a 90-minute workout and then head home for the day. You know, there's not like a true fire and brimstone there. For me, if I'm a head coach and I'm coming into that meeting for the first time at the beginning of OTAs, I want to lay out the vision of why this is going to be successful. Show these guys that you have a plan. Show these guys that you have it already worked out in your head. You're visualizing exactly how this is going to go, how we're going to be successful, and here's what I need from you. Give them a checklist of things that you want them to accomplish to help you reach that goal and how you're all going to come together to accomplish it. Because if you're just hoping to do it on pure motivation or pure tactics on the field, it's not going to work. You have to really systematically lay it out and give these guys a reason to believe and give you everything they got.
How'd you feel about Jacksonville being located in the county of
Duval?
What are your thoughts on this? Legit, because Ty has already made his judgment. I said we should reserve judgment because we have no idea if this guy's going to be a great head coach or not. I don't think we know if anybody is going to be a great head coach or not unless they've done it in the past and have had massive success. Ty, though, thinks that guy...
Yeah, he's going to stink.
Okay, that's how he feels. Your thoughts on players watching this and kind of all unravel before they even get in the building?
If you don't think players watch that, pass it around their own text messages, etc., you're crazy. They absolutely have passed that around, and you're going into that first meeting like, all right, let me feel this guy out. Let me see what we got. I will say that that's just this year's version of Jonathan Gannon, shots, pew, 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 shots, or the Adam Gase press conference with the crazy eyes from a few years ago. So every year it does seem to be that we get one guy that walks into that press conference and you're like, oh, what was that? So I do think he's kind of got to win the guys back a little bit after that. Don't do that in the first meeting, probably, or do it as a joke and play it off and be like, yeah, what the hell was that? But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I thought his face knew that his mouth was doing something it shouldn't do, at the time. Because down there in the county of
Duval.
Both
the head movement, man, and the shoulders. He rolls the shoulders with it. Like,
beast.
Killing the game with this one.
Yeah, dog.
Basically, the big conversation that we had after that was like, he's just got to be himself all the time. Like, if he's a goober and that's who he is, just be that all the time. Because if not, the players will sense it, they'll see it. You brought up Adam Gase. That obviously didn't work out. Then Sirianni had a situation in his opening press conference where everybody thought he was a big dumb dipshit. It has worked out. MCDC, they said this guy's an absolute dipshit. It has worked out for him. There's been situations that have gone good. There's been situations that have gone bad. So maybe we don't say that this guy
is going to absolutely stink.
We'll be back tomorrow.
I don't think the lighting.
See you then.
Oh.
All right, JH.
Oh my God! What a terror!
Embarrassment?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
The only thing we say is don't embarrass the program.
Yeah.
And that's really the only rule. That's the only rule.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I did it. I take full responsibility. Go ahead, AQ. Let it fly.
What does Alex Pereira do?
Is that what you think?
Exhibit
Why
A.
are your knees so close?
Exhibit A.
Why are your knees so close?
Don't listen to him, AQ.
AQ's going to kill everybody on set.
There's a chance.
I think AQ very well could be right. Like, I've never said you were wrong.
Yeah, the way you laid it out.
I said you guys had differing opinions.
That's not what you said. You listen to it back, you'll see how we all took it the way you meant it to be said. AQ said that, became a corner because of the split. And then D-Butt said, wrong.
Yeah, well, how would he know? Right. How would either of them know? Nobody knows.
Well, you're acting like you're on one side. And I think AQ can feel that. Look, the guy's starting to sweat.
I usually do research before I say something. So I talked to a quarterback who maybe played for the Chiefs when the D coordinator might have been Spags. So carry the 2 equals got it. Perfect.
You're starting to sweat though a little bit, JJ.
Now give D-Butt a chance to rebut that because you're coming at D-Butt, not me.
No, he's not.
You're not stirring this pot over here, JJ.
Yeah, don't you think you're driving a wedge over here in the Thunderdome from your estate down there in Texas, pal? Okay, we don't need you high society, hoity-toity bullshit and starting brawls over here in Indiana. Okay, Jage? Okay? Jeez.
I have no thoughts on it. I have no opinion. I don't know shit about corner blitzes. I know literally less than nothing about them other than that I have to pirate down inside if a guy's coming from my side. That doesn't matter to me at all.
So when you pirate down, is it because of a tight split or is it because the play was called that way?
I'm not smart enough to know that type of stuff. Somebody else has to tell me from behind me. AJ's got to say, hey.
Pirate
down. Yeah.
What's he say? Arr!
Yeah.
Code left. Hey, Jage. Arr!
That's our code word.
I love everything about it. All right, speaking of corner, D-Butt has a question for you, Jage.
I know you were out in Kansas City for the AFC Championship, and I feel like after the game, it's been a lot of people, they feel so sorry for Josh Allen and losing again to Patrick Mahomes. What's your thoughts on Josh Allen and if he'll ever get over that hump that is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think that there are a lot of those sentiments going out there, like how bad we feel for the Chiefs or for the Bills, how bad we feel for Josh Allen. He just can't get over it. We wish he would. I understand that. I absolutely understand it. I understand how bad it sucks to get that close and not make it, and how bad that has to feel. But if you flipped it and Josh Allen had won 3 of the last 4 and going for his 5th, we would be saying the same thing about Patrick Mahomes and his guys. We hate success. We don't hate necessarily the people that are having the success. So I don't really get this whole feeling sorry for him. Like, it's a sport. It's not like there was an injury. It's not like there was some freak thing that happened or some crazy. I mean, I guess there's conversations of some freak things that happened, but neither here nor there. But it's a sport. At the end of the day, one team wins, one team loses. It's not like let's feel bad for these guys. Like, that's what it is. That's what you sign up for. It really sucks. If you played in a different era, might he have more championships? Yeah. And if he was the one on the other side, would we probably be hating him just like everybody's hating the Chiefs at the moment? Yeah, probably, because we hate success, not the people.
Chiefs are heels by far. Like, people hate Philadelphia as a whole, but I think 80% of the bets are on the Philadelphia Eagles. Hammer, Tone Diggs, is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's because everybody hates the Chiefs. Like, that is...
When do they start hating them, though? Like, when do you have so much success to where people start hating you?
I think going into last year.
Yeah, after the second Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think going into last year was what. Then they win again, and then obviously Taylor being a part of it all. Yeah. That's a whole nother animal. That's a whole nother piece of it that people hate them, and it's just like that just kind of comes with it, And I assume modern day, if Jordan was playing right now, Michael Jordan, he would be hated by everybody. I couldn't even fathom how bad everybody would hate him. Just like everybody hates LeBron James because of how great he is. Ain't that right, A?
When did that flip? Like, why did everybody loved Michael? Was it because of the shoe? Was it because of the clothing brand?
I think because we didn't have social media.
Is that?
No, they did love Michael, right? Nobody ever really disliked him.
Correct.
Yeah, everybody loved him, but there wasn't social media for you to be able to hear other people.
Yeah.
Like social media, modern era, you'll hear a reason why you should hate somebody, and somebody be like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Fuck this guy. And then all of a sudden now, bang, it's a group think situation. And it's like, yeah, I didn't even know that I hated this guy. You're right, more Taylor? Yeah, of course. That's fake. That's not a real boom, boom, boom. Oh, it must be nice. The refs make all the... It's just one thing leads to another, And that's the world that we're in. People have always thrown rocks at things that shine, I believe. If you're great or if you're in the spotlight, people have always tried to knock people down. But I think now with social media, there's a lot more like, good point. Yup, I'm going to take that as if it's my own. And I think those who got to play sports before the social media, like, congrats. I don't think you had to take the blender that is current modern media world that we're in, but it's good though.
It's also a contrarian thing where people are like, oh, everybody likes that guy. I don't want to be like everybody. Like, I want to be the guy that doesn't like him. And then, okay, let's get on that bandwagon. Whereas it's just kind of like that too cool for school. Like, oh yeah, they're so good. I don't like them. Like, okay.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, bingo.
Jalen Hurts has some D1 haters because, super handsome.
I'm so cool. I got a cool chain, and my girlfriend's hot.
And I win.
I'm in the tush push. I scored touchdowns. Fuck you.
That's just natural.
There's like 20 of those tweets a game.
That's just modern human nature these days with how it is. And I'll tell you what, you hang out in the paint, you're going to get dunked on every once in a while.
That's right.
But LeBron James, he's had to deal with that his whole career.
He has. He grew up in the social media era.
Michael Jordan didn't have to.
He didn't.
This guy's a big Michael Jordan guy.
Yeah, loves him.
Yeah.
Hates LeBron.
Hates LeBron.
It's crazy.
You still like them both?
Yes,
Well-
amen. You can because you're playing two different sports.
Ain't no-
AQ doesn't.
different.
Ain't no party like a.
I love that you think it was two different sports. It is
was.
two different sports, actually.
It is.
Wasn't even close,
It was
AQ.
physical in the 80s and 90s, and now you can't touch anybody. I get it. I get it.
But
I get what
you're telling me 6'8".
Unbelievable.
LeBron wouldn't have
He
a
could've
chance
played back
against
then.
Bill Laimbeer.
Players missing
We all
400
know.
LeBron would have
We all
dropped
know
60
it.
on the Pistons, and I love those Pistons.
What'd you say,
teams.
Zito?
Players missing 400 games?
LeBron?
No, Embiid.
Oh, okay. We're talking about LeBron right now, though. So
Modern day, though. Modern day.
just guy that
Different
doesn't
game,
miss.
Chicago, though.
It is a different game. I agree, but in that particular case, the load management is certainly a part of that whole thing. LeBron doesn't miss games, though. LeBron's still playing.
Agree.
Yeah,
super impressive.
And that's where people will argue about the physical wear and tear because of that. But the greats of both eras could play. Like Larry Bird today, you can't.
Oh my
like
God,
hand
he would
check.
be awesome.
Reggie Miller would actually probably score 35 points a game because you can't hand check.
Yeah, going back to the shooters of the past.
Yes.
And abusing the new 3-point things would be.
Price.
Yeah, Michael Redd.
Mark Price would have.
Michael Redd,
would
what a
average 50
name.
points a game.
Larry, though.
Oh yeah, of
Larry
course,
Bird
of
would
course.
have, lefty and righty would have been able to put up 25 a night.
LeBron also never had anyone to run the pick and. I mean, Jordan had Bill Wennington running the pick and pop. Like LeBron never had a guy like that. You know.
I watched The Last Dance.
Bill Cartwright.
Yeah, Bill Cartwright, Bill Wennington.
Yeah. Who's LeBron's Tony Kukoc? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's Scottie Pippen?
Heaven forbid he has a Luke Longley.
Just one time.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan. I wasn't in the basketball world. I'd watch the Lake Show late at night, but the only thing I saw was Jordan highlights all the time. So I'm like, damn, this guy is unbelievable.
The highlights are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Then I watch that Last Dance, and it's like, okay, this is not the same basketball that they're playing nowadays. Every sport evolves. Every sport gets better. But I'll tell you what, if LeBron James saw somebody dribbling like this, he's picking that pocket and he's taking off. You know, Jordan dunking from the foul line, that was a big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Now,
LeBron's 6'8" could do that, would have done that on everybody the entire time. Not saying Jordan wouldn't dominate nowadays. I think Jordan would dominate anything he tried to do. Other than golf, I guess he's good at golf, but he's not dominant.
He stunk at baseball.
Okay, in baseball, I guess he could do. But if he was to play modern basketball, I think he would dominate. I believe that Michael.
But
Jordan,
you could say that about any era in any sport, right? Like you only play who you can play, and you only know what you know in terms of whatever. Like they weren't lifting weights and running and doing all that stuff in 1960, but Joe Namath was still a damn good quarterback. If Joe Namath was today, you take that talent, you put it with all the stuff, he could probably compete and be pretty damn good here.
You said probably there. I'm not giving
you
a
don't know.
probable with Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan would have been great in this era.
Yeah.
Just like I think LeBron would have been great back then.
For sure.
Okay, so you agree. All right.
Yeah.
We met in the middle.
We met in the
Two
middle.
different sports.
Good job.
We did it. Congratulations.
Hey, Q, I'm going to build you back up. My buddy Evan texted me and said, has AQ been on a powerlifting regimen? Because he looks jacked. So
he does.
Lift those
Build him
arms up.
back up.
Lift those
Jesus.
No.
Lift those arms up.
No, I just run hot.
You're allowed to
I
sweat.
run
You're
hot.
allowed to sweat.
You're allowed to
Is that a
sweat.
Mizzen and Main
That
top?
means you're efficient.
It is
good.
Walter Hagen, I think.
Ooh.
You got the
Walter Hagen.
You got the
Who would be a good golfer today?
Holy shit.
Golf's one of those sports I think just kind of
Translates.
because you're playing against the
Baseball's
course.
different. Think about baseball back in the day. You're pitching against guys that never get taken out, and they're pitching complete games all the time. I think that's a little bit different.
Well, what they throw? They threw like 85 back then, right?
Some guys were modern marvels and were throwing 110.
Nolan
and
Ryan.
What? And were throwing
Okay.
I'm dead serious.
What?
Look up.
Maybe the radar guns were a little fucked up back then.
Look at the big. Try to find clips of the big train. Walter Johnson. He was 6'9". He threw 110 miles an hour and pitched every day, every inning. I think he died because his arm
I gotta
fell
see
off.
footage.
Walter Johnson was an.
Please
absolute
find clips
dog.
of this.
Fucking
cause of death. Arm fell off.
Bob Feller.
Possible.
Bob Feller. You think you get?
He threw too much gas.
Yeah,
that's why he
his arm just fucking fell off.
Paul Skeens better watch it.
Bob Feller. You think you
Dylan
get a
Gabriel.
nickname like the fucking heater from Van Meter if you're not throwing absolute gas? I don't.
Yeah,
think
but we're talking about gas for the time. We're not talking about gas. Like
No, I mean, by and large, yeah, guys were throwing fucking 85 miles an hour right down the middle, but a couple guys were.
when the Bambino was swinging the stick.
Yeah.
What were they pitching?
Well, he played in the Walter Johnson era, so he saw the big train. But
they're probably throwing those junk balls too, though. They're loading up the ball with snot and everything, making it move 9 feet.
For sure, but no, I mean, guys today are 1,000 times better than they were back then.
Yeah. Two different sports.
Yeah,
hockey goalies.
They didn't wear pads.
Hockey, the old Gretzky highlights. There's some Gretzky highlights out there where he's just dancing around the entire squad solo.
Well, he had that goon with him too. So everybody was scared to get within 6 feet of Wayno, which is how every team should treat their superstar. But yeah, sports evolve. They're different. That's why comparing a different era to a different era is just like a very hard thing to do, I think.
But that's my thing is like everybody else played in that era too. So it's like because I look at the Wayne argument, people are like, well, look, he was just dancing around a bit. Well, nobody else fucking danced around everybody the way he did. How come nobody else scored 1,000 goals and 1,000 assists? Like, how come he was so much more dominant than everybody else? Because he was the best. That kind of goes to AQ's argument. Whereas if you put Joe Montana in today's world and he has everything modern, he's going to do it to that level just like he did. Nobody else in his era was going to do it to that level.
Joe Montana, Joe Namath, both Western Pennsylvania guys, they would have fit in any era.
Marino.
Danny Marino, of course.
Ooh, yeah. Western PA. Just name it Pittsburgh.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah.
That's it.
That's why Will Howard. How do you feel about Will Howard?
I love Will Howard.
Me too. How come it's not being talked about?
I don't know. He's 6'5", he's 240, he can sling it, he can run it.
Yeah.
He won a national championship.
It's the face.
It's the face.
It's got to be the face.
No one
Should he grow a beard?
No one wants to look at that guy.
I don't think he can grow a beard. What? I don't think he can grow a beard.
Paint one on, maybe help him out for the combine.
What are you saying? You're saying like Ryan? Why are you saying painting beards? What are you bringing out?
No, I mean like Carlos Boozer back in the day.
Oh, okay, not Ryan.
Well, easy. The Booze did not paint his beard on. It just looked good.
He painted his hair.
Well,
yes.
He's actually still.
AJ, you ever have a beard?
On.
No, I can't really grow very much facial hair at all, actually.
How about you, Jay? Did you ever have clean face?
Yeah. I used to have a clean face for a long time. Back when my face was actually rounder than it is, so it was probably a mistake. But no, I was. Age, you should not have a beard. I mean, you can't cover up that chiseled rock right there.
Yeah.
Foolish.
I wish. I mean, that'd be nice, but yeah, I don't. It's never been a thing I've been able to do.
Yeah, I always try
Mustache.
to keep a little bit of stuff on it to cover up all the face. You know what I mean? But I'm more clean faced now than I've ever been. Really.
What's the longest your beard's ever been?
I tried to grow it that one time. It's bad. I got bad. I got to keep it tight. I can't go too long. I start looking like a. I'm not gonna say it. No,
What would it?
no, it's not time to say it. It looks bad. It looks bad.
What could it be?
I'm lost.
I'm not gonna get into it. Now it's not time. Hey, did you hear
I was
about the
gonna
moon
go Eddie,
landing?
but it's not.
1969.
Holy fuck.
Jay, did you hear?
No, dude, somebody fill me in here because I saw there was discourse about this, but I have not been able to see it.
Dude.
What was the argument?
High level.
We watched it for the first time yesterday. Because last year's Super Bowl was the most watched television thing since the moon landing. Moon landing had 650 million people watching it live. Okay, this is like guy throwing 110 back whenever they didn't have radar. 650 million people watched that thing live. We actually watched it yesterday live, the moon landing, including the call from President Nixon up to Neil and Buzz up there on the moon. And it turned into a day that Connor will never forget. Connor had a change of mind, I think, on a lot of it. He was the only one, though. He was the only one. Now, with that being said, it's a good lead-in to a ratings conversation from Ty Schmidt, Jage.
Yeah, Jage, with everything we've talked about, people, sick and tired of the Chiefs, don't want to see another Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl since we just saw one recently, the ref discussion, all that mumbo-jumbo. Do you think this year's Super Bowl ratings are going to be higher or lower than last year? We've kind of been going back and forth on this.
Well, last year was on CBS, so I'm a company man. I will say that I'm going to just guess just a touch lower, just because that's my company. But I also People are watching, man. It's the Super Bowl. It's
A lot of people said they're not going to watch.
I saw at least 100 tweets.
They're lying.
I saw at least 100 tweets.
Mm-hmm. 7 of the last 10 Super Bowls have been won by Brady or Mahomes. 14 of the last 23 Super Bowls have been won by Brady, Mahomes, or a Manning brother. Like, the same people are winning it every year. So you're complaining about something that's been happening for 20 plus years. It's the same people winning the Super Bowl. It's the same people in the Super Bowl, even if they're not winning it. You've been watching the whole time. The ratings have continued to go up every single time, and you continue to shit on everybody else who doesn't win Super Bowls. Hey, hand up, man up, me also. But you're in the era of these guys where 70% of the last 10 Super Bowls have been won by 2 people. So every other, like, it is what it is, man. It's hard to do. These 2 have figured it out at an unbelievably high level. They continue to do it. Appreciate it. Watch it for what it is. See if the Eagles can knock them off. It should be a great game, but let's not act like you're not tuning in because of this or because of that. Like, you're watching the Super Bowl, man. What else are you going to do on that Sunday?
What are you doing for the Super Bowl? You having a big Super Bowl party, a shindig, if you will, at the J.J. Watt house?
No. I will be watching it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how people watch in big groups. We tried it one time, I think. We did like a Super Bowl watch thing, a couple of them. And I think we enjoy it because we're around each other a lot. But the people that do the big parties, I don't know.
Yeah, and then even these last couple of years, we've just watched it like on our own. It's been like, man, it's pretty nice.
It's really nice.
It's different when you cover it.
Every day.
Day to day. Like, if you're just going to like a Super Bowl party and you work in like an office setting, like, you get fucked up and you're just like shooting the shit with people, and like, you're watching the game unless you have like an actual rooting interest. But like, it's another big event, another excuse to get incredibly boozed up.
Okay, so it's just viewed as an opportunity.
Yeah, it's just a huge party.
Got it.
Yeah, but then you got that guy asking like, so how are the kids? Like, how's school? And they're like, dude, it's 3rd and 7 right now. Like, what the fuck, dude? Just leave me alone. God, I don't care about the queso dip at this exact moment, buddy. Yeah. Like, leave me alone. No, I don't need another beer.
Geez,
2nd and 5.
Sorry to some guys just trying to fucking, ask about how your kids are doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Like, I don't need you in my life at this moment right now.
It is hard to watch football in public, though, I think. I'd assume much harder for you, too, and you, D-Butt, and you, AQ. But I think it was the year I retired, I did like a watch party thing at one of these places, like a Sunday watch party. And I don't want to say people are stupid, but the things that people ask about when watching a game, it's like, wow, I don't have an answer for that. I don't even know what the way people take in games, I think, is vastly different than how some other people take.
Why don't they just blitz every time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like there's those things. I don't know why they don't just run that play every time. It's like, okay, all right. And then the people that question everything everybody does, it's like they've only watched like 30 hours of film this week for this particular. I think it is a little tough. I think it is sometimes a little difficult to kind of handle that. But as long as you love ball, who cares? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing if you played in the league or like actually played in a Super Bowl or whatever, like you shouldn't be going to a Super Bowl party with just some Joe Schmo who's going to ask you 1,000 questions. Like that's an average American who, because you got 50% of the people there are just there for the commercials.
Oh, commercials this year.
The commercials.
Excited for the commercials this year, Jage. Are you in any of them?
No, I am not. I am excited for them as well. I look forward to seeing them.
Jage is not in a. Well, you're in all the commercials this year. What do you mean you're not in?
It's a surprise.
He's ribbon.
I don't believe him.
Signed an NDA, probably.
No, similar to my career.
Oh, you don't deserve that. AQ just laughed. AQ.
I didn't. I'm drinking water.
I'm trying to hype him up. I'm trying to build him back up. Apparently, I shit on him earlier, which I wasn't.
You were. You watch
it
back. You're disrespecting him a little bit.
You don't let them gas you.
You're disrespecting him a little bit.
Oh, I did it.
You did.
Don't let them gas you. Don't even acknowledge it. It'll just keep going.
Nah, you did. You did.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Have you seen, I'm sure you have, but the guy on Twitter, X, whatever it is, who every post I post, I'm sure he does it to yours as well, tells me how many wipes he does every time? No. That guy's cracking me up right now.
I've not seen that. Is that...
Anything I post, he posts like a number of wipes. He was like, I did 10 wipes after this. And I'll post like, I was in Kansas City for the game. He's like, yeah, after the Kansas City game, I had 115 wipes. Like, cracking me up.
Okay, so I want to let you guys know. Yesterday, I believe I was going through it a little bit out of the basement. I had a 6 wiper, and I thought to myself, holy shit, this is a lot of wipes. And then I immediately remembered that is nothing in comparison to what you do in there and you do in there and Hammer, Dahn, Tone does in there. At 6, I was almost exhausted. I'm like, can my butt cheeks take anymore? I don't know. And then I remembered, these dudes are doing 100 wipes for one shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works. How do your pipes not blow up? AQ, were you here for this conversation?
Yeah, it's every Wednesday.
How many wipes have you done?
Max?
Max.
Oh, that's some situations, but I'd say
yes, that's what we're talking about. We were talking about those situations.
Okay, so
Yes,
probably
those
worst
situations.
situation might be like probably like a 6 to 8, but then like you might get like a little like itchy butt syndrome, and then you might have to go back for like 2 or 3 more. You know?
So it would have been a 10 wiper, you think?
10 wiper.
That sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
It's nothing compared to what these guys do.
I heard 50. No, it was AJ. AJ said 100, I think, one time, didn't he?
Yeah,
or
they
something?
dropped it down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there are those times. Like you can stop early and then have to go back later. Yeah, but like
early,
no,
like what, 25
there's times
wipes?
where it's just a mess, man.
All right, we're getting out of here. I can't do it. Are you going to be down in New Orleans next week?
No, are you?
Yeah, thought you were going to be there.
No, I'm not.
We're going to be down.
I'm coming up to the Dome.
Really?
I actually am.
I don't believe it. Do you?
But I found out you're not back. This is your last Wednesday show until like 3 weeks from now. So that hurt my plans. But when we come back, I'm coming.
Well,
really?
I don't know if
I'm invited. Am I locked out?
we're here also that week.
Oh, yeah, because we'll be. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't need to be that, but you're back in general, right?
Yeah, we'll be back in general, but I think we're going to be potentially, this might be a newsbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be at the Combine, I do believe, live from the Combine, downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, looking at the future of the NFL. We'll have these eyes on it. I don't think we're allowed to have camera on it, though.
No.
It's become a big conversation behind the scenes on where we're allowed to be, what the background is allowed to be, how long we're allowed to even look at them with our eyes versus what everybody else is. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I guess there's rights and stuff for what you're
Oh, I see. Yeah.
you know? And we're like, just fucking put us right there on the top. It'll be great. Just have the thing right behind us. Well, will you show the thing? Definitely.
Yeah,
what are we
no
there
point.
for? You can't.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What?
Tell me that before you ask me that.
So why are we going? So why should we do it from the building?
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of that. You know, a lot of that. But
Dude, do it from the train station, man. Just set that shit up in the train station. Get the real stories.
yeah, you're right. We should do that. We will get the real stories down there. I wonder how many wipes they do at the train station.
They don't wipe.
Yeah, what? At the
At
train station?
Oh, with the amount of drinks and food that's going down at that thing, that train station has seen some wipes.
That's right. A lot of poops.
They don't wipe, they eat.
Let's get to a break. JH, thank you, man. Thank you. That was a really good hit out of you today. You're coming to the Thunderdome?
Always.
That's awesome news.
I am. I looked it up. I found out where it is. I am coming. I found that. Thankfully, Connor told me there's an airport a lot closer than the airport I was looking at. So whenever you're back in the Thunderdome, you let me know. I'm showing up.
We'll see you in April.
It's a long way away.
That's a long time. We'll see if you still want to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Have
things.
fun in NOLA. Get some beignets.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little King's cake, I believe is what it's called.
Some crepes?
Maybe some crepes. Some really thin pancakes.
Yeah.
What else they got?
Crawdads.
Oh, yeah.
Gumbo.
Boys. Got some po' boys.
Yeah.
Love good
Po' boy.
Fried alligator.
I will eat some fried alligator. I'm not scared to eat a little alligator. Debo, you gonna eat a little alligator?
I eat a little alligator.
Super greasy, fatty chicken. Little alligator down there. What are you gonna eat down there? You gonna have a little alligator down there?
Everything. I love New Orleans.
Gumbo pop.
New Orleans food's good.
Very good, yeah.
Very good.
I got one more before I go. You gotta stop swinging your feet like that, man. You gotta stop swinging your feet like that.
Holy shit!
Ladies and gentlemen, JJ Watt. Thank you, JJ. Jeez Louise. What happened?
I don't know.
I thought you guys used to walk together.
He must be mad whenever I pancaked him when he played in Houston.
He's going to call back.
Definitely call it back.
He can call back. I got the video right here on my phone.
Yeah.
Anybody want to watch it?
It's in the favorites.
Bring me back. Bring me back. Bring me back.
Anyone want to watch it?
You got the video in your favorites on your phone. That's all you need to know, buddy.
This has been just for this moment. It has been waiting.
Little
just
too
for this
easy to
moment.
find.
Just
to find.
Just for this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who was once pancaked by A.Q. Shipley, J.J. Watt. That was amazing. Let's get to a break.
Yes.
A.Q., this one goes in, you can pancake
That was
today.
awesome.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez.
I thought maybe you still had him.
Going in.
You don't, though.
Turns out you didn't make one yesterday for a reason.
Connor did a few hours of research after the show yesterday, got into a couple rabbit holes.
Yeah, we didn't go, brother.
Change your opinion at all, Con Man? Where are you?
No, but he did change his name to Connor Jinping.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I did not.
I don't know.
Boy, oh boy, they never went to the moon, man. It's fucked up.
Happy Chinese New Year to you, Connor.
Thank you. You're the dragon.
Interesting.
Snake, Bruce is saying.
See, look, I don't know.
Well, that was
Trying to throw us off.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I saw a
Deflect.
couple graphics and I was like, oh, that's a cool dragon.
Ty, you think about having a conversation with Connor about everything he learned the other day?
I did, but I usually don't want to engage Chinese sympathizers too much, so I tend to just stay away. That's his truth. He can stick with it.
I ain't a CCP sympathizer.
Were you guys playing that little video game console yesterday?
The Swedish gaming
one?
device?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you show it? You could show it on air sometime.
Nah.
It's on your feed right now if you open up any social media feed.
You'll see it.
Sure is.
I don't know how they're able to market that. I don't know how they're just shoving it in everybody's face. Hey, we've stolen everything from everybody that's ever created anything. And it's right here on one device for $75.99.
That's right.
The Swedes, huh?
Worth
I know.
it.
Yeah,
They're smart.
they are.
The Swedes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
On the other side, we got In the Trenches and Everything DB, Good D, Bad D, and maybe a little conflict of a play call in play design. Hey, Cush, what happened out there? Which age, you think?
I'll still be mad about 2012. I don't know. I don't know.
I got it right here.
Got it right here to watch.
Oh.
Who wants to see it?
You know when you cut to AQ early on when in the whole scrum, he said, okay. That's all, real quiet. Okay.
Bro.
He was so mad. His pitch.
There was something like that happened, I don't know, maybe 15 weeks ago. I went home. I was like, I'm fucking finding every goddamn clip I played against this guy for one goddamn moment.
That's amazing.
His pit stains got from his armpit down to his head. I was watching him grow. He's getting actually heated. All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5. For you, did you know you would be good in front office? Did you know that this was going to be something you would succeed at?
I didn't know I'd be good at it. I didn't even know I'd be doing it. It's an interesting story as to how I ended up here. I ask myself that often. Way back when I was a kid, I did love like the NFL draft. My dad used to pull me out of school. Out of half day, he'd come pick me up at lunch. We'd go watch the draft. So I loved that. Throughout my career, I'd piss my wife off by not only watching round 1 through 3, but then watching round 7. And I'm filling out sheets. And I think the thing that probably piqued my interest, I was living in Denver after I got done playing there. I'd become friendly with Elway. We played some golf together and he looked out for me. We had the same high school coach. We went to Stanford, played football, baseball, same fraternity. That was like the poster on my wall. But Elway took the leap at the Broncos. And in his first year, he said, Johnny, you know, I'm keeping a lot of the scouts, but I don't know them. I love the way you think about football. Could you watch the safeties this year and write some reports? And so I did that for him. Remember, it was the year of like Mark Barron and Harrison Smith. And I took a lot of pride in, I had no idea how scouts did things, but I just watched it like I would watch film. And I sat there at the computer and wrote some reports. And Elway was blown away with like the detail. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. The next year, he says, that was awesome, Johnny. Why don't you do the DBs? So I did the entire DBs. I added the corners. The next year, he invites me in for their draft process. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. I went to Indy. I went to the combine with the Broncos that year. So that started piquing my interest. Long after that, there was a guy who ended up bidding for the Carolina Panthers. And he didn't get the team. Tepper got it. But there was another another gentleman by the name of Ben Navarro, and I worked with his brother at Fox. And he one time asked if he could meet with me, and out of the blue asked me if I would run his team if he got the Panthers. And I said, really? Are you serious? And he asked me to kind of put together a vision statement for how I would run a team. And so I spent a couple weeks doing that. I met with him. And from that point forward, I kind of just said, if the right scenario ever came about, this might be something I want to do. I was missing like competition. I was missing scoreboard. I was missing the wins, the losses, all of that. Out of nowhere, something was keeping me up at night one year. I didn't even know what it was. And my wife said, something's on your mind. I know you when you're acting like this, you can't sleep. And I had done a bunch of Falcon games that year, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. It's the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and I heard something like Kyle Shanahan's going to get this Niners job, and that's the one he wants. But somebody said he's struggling to find a GM he wants to work with, and so something was on my mind. I had done a bunch of Kyle's games that year, and I gave him a cold call, and I just said, hey, dude, I want to thank you for all the time you've given me all year in these production meetings. I heard something that you're struggling to find a GM, and he goes, I am, man, it's killing me. I think I am going to take that Niners job. And he goes, why are you asking? And I said, well, consider me. I don't even know if I do it, but just think about that and see what you think. And his first question, he's like, dude, why would you do that? You got a great job. You got a great life. Like, why would you even consider doing that? I said, you go play your games. He did. He called back and he said, man, I can't stop thinking about what you said to me. Would you do that? And I want you to come meet this dude named Jed. Well, that dude named Jed was our owner here, Jed York. Came and met Jed. We flew cross country to Atlanta. I was offered the job on that flight. We meet with Kyle and the whole thing's wrapped up. I hadn't even talked to my wife or family yet. It all moved kind of fast, and here we are 8 years later. So sorry for the long story.
No.
No.
I'm hoping we get 3 or 4 more of those. That was phenomenal. Hey, thank you for blessing us with that information. And also, shout out to you being somebody taking initiative and being like, you know what? Yeah, this is something I want. And diving right in and being prepared and knowing that you're.
Hello and welcome to the special investigative report. Much has been made in the media world on the life and charitable donations of the man Pat McAfee, especially lately with the rise of the ever-popular Pat McAfee Show, a show that in his own words, stinks. We thought it privy to dive into the inner workings and machinations of this tiny business, this small regional show that has reached international discourse. We sat down with the suit himself, Bruce Brown, to figure out what, where, when, why, and how they're able to give away so much money to the viewers of this incredible program.
So yeah, when you enter a Pat McAfee Show giveaway, essentially, the entire hashtag will be downloaded into an Excel file, and the winners will be randomized within that. And then we do a quick scumbag check, basically click on the profile and make sure, you aren't a robot or blocked by Pat. And then it'll be transferred over to Dirty Gertie, who creates the Winner Wednesday graphic, which then runs on the show each Wednesday in a commercial break. If you win over $599, we're going to need your email, or you can email giveaways@patmcafeeshow.com. If it's under $599, all we need is the easiest way to pay you digitally. And if you win merch, obviously we need your size, address, and what you want from the store. Usually I'll just reply to you on Twitter. If you have any questions about any giveaway, whether it's cash that you either are waiting on or merch, you can just reach out to me on Twitter or email giveaways@patmcafeeshow.com. Please give us about 1 to 2 weeks to sort out your prize. That's typically how long it takes. But again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us.
We reached out to PMI's money man himself, CFO Phil, for an on-camera interview. Regretfully, he declined the segment, but he did give us the salacious, juicy details. In an email correspondence, CFO Phil replied, over $5.1 million year to date. Too much money. There you have it. Over $5.1 million given away, a pissed off CFO, and a show that quote unquote stinks. Good night, good morrow, good luck, and good fortunes.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Andy Reid Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is amazing. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Let the ponies run.
Yeah,
on, man.
And our pony did all the way back to Baltimore. Chuck Pagano.
Oh, is that the white horse there in the front?
Yeah, I guess so. That kind of just came to me when you said, let the ponies run.
Yeah, we're going to miss Chuck around here, aren't we?
No, well, you know. One less we have to worry about, am I right?
What do we worry about?
You know.
No, I don't know.
Those Italian tricks.
Oh, my God.
Come on. What about the donuts?
Exactly. One less day of him trying to fatten us up.
I will say, I thought about that as I was reading the news yesterday, as it was made official that he was going back to Baltimore. I was like, what are we going to do without, as we play drums on the microphone?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
What are we going to do without the 1,000 donuts that are brought through this Thunderdome office every fall from Chuck Pagano? What are we going to do without all the meetings that happen outside of the Thunderdome? What are we going to do without everything that Chuck Pagano brings to the Thunderdome? I don't know, Ty. I legitimately don't know what we're going to do without him.
Me neither, because some days, I'll come in, didn't have a great night's sleep, and I pop that open. So that's the donut I asked for. I asked Chuck to make sure that, and you know what's the first thing he's going to do if he pops open that box of donuts and it's not a particularly good batch? He said, okay, let me know whose ash do I need to get on.
Yeah, because he'll call.
He will.
Mm-hmm.
He will.
He'll
call up there and say, hey, this isn't right.
We've actually had to craft this donut box to become what it has become. I feel like we finally got it right, actually.
Over years.
Years of crafting these donut boxes. We got a couple apple fritters.
Yep.
We got a couple Frosties.
Right.
We got a couple Glazies.
Right.
We got a couple Stixies.
Right.
We got another box of Easies.
Right.
I mean, it's really come together pretty nicely, and I feel like in the last 5 weeks is really the time it's been correct more so than ever.
Never again. Although on the plus side, we aren't going to have that, screeching brain aneurysm noise when he leaves his hearing aids over there.
Oh, yeah, because he's deaf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to miss him.
We are going to miss him.
Bad times.
Connor.
Should do.
Yeah. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. Sure, we're going to miss him.
That guy's, of course we're going to miss him. He went out on a great note, though. Hit the shot.
Oh, yeah.
So calm in the...
Suck it.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was
With
last
a
week.
below 500 record? Is that going out on a high note? I don't know.
That's what you guys told me it's behind us. Only good as your last shot.
The books were cooking that guy. Okay? He had some ideas. They waffled a few different times. And we all know what happens when he waffles. That's why Miss Tina's staying in Boise. He'll be out there in Baltimore.
Gotta focus.
That's right.
Jimmy's Famous Seafood said he'll give him free crab cakes whenever he's out there. If it's for free, I'll take 3. That's what Chuck Pagano said. Love that line. I've never heard that line before. I'll certainly take that as my own going forward. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, a guy who got dunked on by J.J. Watt today numerous times. Thank you, Ship.
Yeah.
I think you got the last laugh. I did see that video from 2012. You dumped him on his back.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
I'm pretty proud of you.
Thank you.
The Trenches, obviously a place we like to visit every single week with you, chit-chatting about offensive line play and who's good, who's crap, who's great, who's not, who's going to win because they're big boys, they're fatzos, are able to move other bodies. Well, let's do one last one here for the championship weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go in the trenches with AQ Shipley.
And then there was 2. We are down to the final 2 teams.
Put my readers on.
One team who has been among the absolute best all year, and then this team.
And then this team.
And then this team.
You have not believed in the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line at
No,
all.
but I will say this was the best this line has looked all year long, and they save it for a very important moment against a very good football team. And here's why I want to showcase this. We got 3 plays in this little sequence, right? And so whenever you look at this, see the 2 tight ends lined up in the backfield? We got Kelsey and Noah Gray. They came out with this. They have not shown this all year. They line up with 2 tight ends in the backfield and then Pacheco behind in the dot. They come out like this. They motion one over. Comes like a diamond formation. First play, they send them both weak. You get a little +5 run. No big deal. Cool, we're just setting it up. Now let's go a couple plays later. Do the exact same thing. Line up with 2 in the backfield. Send him over, get the diamond formation. Now we're going to send him opposite, still downhill. We get the guard and the tackle pull, and guess what? Kareem Hunt in the end zone. Look like a stud. Get him in the end zone, right? Now we go to the fourth quarter. Make it, break it time. What do they think? Okay, we've shown it 2 ways. We've shown zone. We've shown counter. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to pull the guard and the tackle, make it look like counter. Nope. Keep it. Now the tight ends are your lead blockers. Mahomes, touchdown.
So that was all a setup, all of it.
All of it.
And that's the difference between calling a game and calling plays.
That's exactly right. You set it up, and like that first play might go for 4. Cool, that's all right. We're just showing it. Now they're going to play. Now the guys are going to go back with the tight ends. Okay, cool. Next time we're going to run the counter. Now they're going to fly over the top, thinking it's Mahomes, or the tight ends go back this way, and nobody comes over here. Then the next time, everybody goes with the counter, and then Mahomes out the other side.
AJ, what's the conversation whenever they line up like that? Check, check, check. You guys are acting as if you have it figured out. You think that's what the Buffalo Bills defense did?
Well, they're trying to. I would assume after the first time they showed that, they go on the sideline and they're saying, hey, if they do this again, this is our adjustment. This is where you line up. This is where you make the close call, whatever, all of that stuff. So the fact they hit him with it 3 times and it's three different plays and how they ran everything, yeah, that could cause some confusion. Look at the Buffalo Bills game. Look at everybody. Like everybody trying to get on the same page here.
Yeah, Milano over to the left. That's where it was last time. Nope, gone. We're taking it the opposite direction. On the sideline, they're saying, how are we playing this? They can run it left or they can run it right. We're going to play balanced now. They could go either way here. We got to figure it out. And then Patrick Mahomes says, oop, I'm going out the back door. Yep, see ya. Travis Kelce lead blocking. What a beautiful play.
Yeah, and is Milano's the only backer there, too, in those formations?
So they got a safety down, they got a nickel down, right? And then basically Milano right there, the first time flies with the tight ends. Then next time he sees the counter, and he's just stuck. And that little hesitation enough for Mahomes.
How do you stop it, D-Bud?
Yeah, I don't know.
You shoot him in the head.
Penetration kills everything.
I guess shooting him in the head would work.
Somebody got to take him down.
That's gonna be hard to get a gun out there.
Can we go back to the first play of the zone, just the one that went for 5? So if you watch this, so let it run, and then you'll see Kelce as both these tight ends go back, right? So watch this. So there, and then Kelce fakes like there, and then he goes out. Now watch that. See that? That's what's next off of this. You watch.
Oh, a little throw.
There's going to be a little throw off of this.
Oh, yeah.
The extension of the run game.
That's exactly right.
Tell Philly?
I don't know. It's going to happen. There's going to be something else off of that.
Vic
next
Fangio knows.
Completely different,
Yep, you know what I mean?
Speaking of Philly.
Philadelphia, we got the bunch, right? You see A.J. Brown right there at the point. He's got the toughest block. We got to seal the edge. But guess what? Let's watch Mulata. First play of the game, boys. First play of the game. Washington has a nice drive. Couple 4th down conversions. They get points on the road in a playoff game. Nope. Mulata throws his ass down.
Go, son.
Go. Saquon in space. Nobody can tackle him. See you later. First play of the game.
Mayada's mic'd up for this, and he goes, go, son.
Mm-hmm.
Go, son.
Starts
it
laughing.
is a great clip. Yeah, he starts laughing. He's running down there. Saquon's special, but this offensive line sets it all up. I forget what the yardage was before contact, but he would be the top 3 rusher in the NFL before contact, let alone everything else. Can we go back to the top of this particular play, Foxy? The important part is they're all on a string, aren't they, AQs?
Absolutely. You get the down block, and then look, see that right there? That's huge right there. Smith going in motion. Because it takes the DB out of there, right? And then it's easy. Goddard out in front. Everybody else does what they do, and they all just go, and nobody can tackle in secondary for Washington.
What's that, D-Butch?
No, that's tough, man.
It's tough.
Because you got 2 DBs, probably 3 DBs had a chance to get them down, but you can't arm tackle them like you.
Watch Wagner, too, right? Wagner gets caught in down block here. Watch this.
He almost tore his damn knee up.
Boom, right here, and then he just gets caught right there, and then he can't get over the top. He's the guy that should make that play.
Almost hyperextended the knee there.
He might have.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Make it a mush, and then Saquon Barkley takes it to the crib.
And then the last play for the day, let's take a look. Obviously, Lane Johnson, the whole right side, Lane Johnson, Becton, and the center are all going to back block. They all got a down block, keep their guys sealed. We're pulling the backside. As we pull, boom, we get the guard kicker. Watch my lot on Wagner. Boom, take him 10 yards, keep going, throw his ass on the ground.
Jeez.
It was a gain of 6 there, 7 there.
That's all right. We're just making our presence known by putting people on the ground.
Mayada's the real deal, huh?
He's awesome. I mean, he's absolutely awesome. Their whole offensive line is awesome, but what Mailata has been able to do, coming over, being kind of a project and turning it into an all-pro tackle, absolute dog.
He was what, rugby player?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good feet. Here's a clip of the first play of the game here of Mailata enjoying the hell out of Saquon.
Go, son.
Let's celebrate. It was too far away. We're going to kick the extra point. All right, I'll stay over here. That's a fun group, man.
That's awesome.
That's a very fun group. Hey, that's great. In trenches, AQ. Let's go everything DB. Good D, bad D.
Let's go. Let's get to it. And just like AQ, it's only 2 teams on here, the final 2. This is the blitz we've been talking about. 4th and 5, Spags. We got the corner blitz up top. Just the execution. Corner blitz, you see it, and then up top, Karloff also getting out to that edge, forcing Josh Allen to pull up so that he's not able to extend his play and break that pocket and avoid the blitz. Pull up and then obviously make this throw, and Kincaid drops the damn ball. But you cannot run it back to the beginning. So we talked about this obviously ad nauseum at this point, but when you come out with this condensed split, this cut split, you make it easy for the defense to not only disguise but to execute this blitz. You got Reed coming up the middle. You got McDuffie coming off the edge and ends up in the B gap with Reed. I know AQ protection standpoint, is there any way you guys can pick this up if they saw this pre-snap?
So it's such a pipe dream to say, but if we just take a look down here at the bottom, right, stop right there. 3 DBs, right? You got the 2 DBs up close, and then you got the safety behind. There's 3, and how many receivers do we have?
4.
3 over 4. That tells you somebody else has to drop into coverage, right? So you think it's either going to be Bolton or you think it's going to drop this DN, which also tells you, AJ, right? It's going to be some form of a zone pressure, right? And so if that's the case, a quarterback can sit there and make a rip call, but you don't know if it's going to be the DN. You also don't know with Bolton having a piece of the center meaning right here on his shoulder, that you don't know which one of those 2 are going to be the droppers. So it's tough for a quarterback pre-snap to make a rip call. If you make a rip call, now you full slide right. But even if you do make the rip call, every single one of them from left guard over has to fight through one to get to another. So to sit here and be like, there's a lot of talking heads out there saying, yeah, I just got to fix protection. Well, in order to fix protection, it sounds like a pipe dream to me because you got to push through people, which is hard because if they even come anywhere up the field at all, you can't get through that guy to get to the next one.
Well, then you got Chris Jones down here on an island. Not that Deion Dawkins isn't ready for it, but that's a whole different animal all by itself.
Bingo. That's exactly right.
What a play. Great call by Spag.
Great
what a
call.
throw.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
For him to even get that throw off and Kincaid have a shot at catching it, that was incredible by Josh. But great job, great execution by the defense. And the corner can only come if it's going to be a split safety look. Moving on to the next play. Speaking of this defense, Philadelphia Eagles, we always talk about next man up. Nakobe Dean went down a couple weeks ago, tore his knee up. He'll be out for the rest of the playoffs. Oren Burks has stepped up and done a tremendous job. They did a good job against Jayton last week in the NFC Championship game. Watch Nolan Smith off the edge with the bootleg, pulls the quarterback up once again. Oren Burks pulls his trigger, gets him down on the ground. If you run it back to the beginning one more time, down here at the bottom of the screen, big play Slay. They wanted to double move down here. Big play Slay is all over this. If you watch the bottom of the screen, I think it's De'Ami Brown running this come back and go all over it. He's not there. D-line does their job. Linebacker pulls his trigger, gets the quarterback on the ground. So on every level of this defense, they're clicking on all cylinders. 10 takeaways right now. No giveaways on offense. That's a recipe for success, and that's how you put up 55 points to beat the absolute dog shit out of the Commanders. That wasn't a takeaway there, but this next play here, the exciting white along with Zach Bond. You see where Zach Bond is at pre-snap. Now you run this play, De'Ami Brown's coming over in motion. He's going to get this pass. Boom, quick screen pass. Just watch the pursuit from this whole defense and then the punch out from 53 and 33. I don't know who's going to get going to get credited, if it's going to be Zach or Cooper, because Coop is kind of pulling at it too. And I've been in these positions. I'm sure AJ probably has been in some of these sideline conversations with, hey, I was punching it. Hey, I was pulling it. Who's going to get the credit for it? The violence of the punch, I think Zach Bond will probably get the credit, but Cooper DeJean was also punching and gnawing at it as well.
So let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Would that be a half? Do they give halves?
No, I don't think
they don't give half cause fumbles.
No.
So you got half sacks, obviously.
Half sacks, and which you've heard and you've seen people argue about those. About those, wanting the full or wanting the half.
But Cooper DeJean's saying you didn't even touch the ball. My hand is the only one that touched the ball.
And you can see his hand's the one that kind of scoops it out there.
Yeah.
I think that's one exciting whites, 0 Bond.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
Coop's a team guy, so he don't give a shit, but I do. Coop DeJean forced that fumble. And I just want that to be known.
Well, there you have it.
On the record.
On the record.
Who was it given to? Do we know?
I don't know. I haven't looked it
We should
up.
look that up.
I'm assuming Bond.
Everybody's been saying Bond though. They said it on the broadcast
Because he
doesn't even touch the ball though. Doesn't even touch it. No, I would like to. I wish it was a halfer. I wish I could give
Great
a halfer.
punch.
And it was great. They should set that up maybe a little bit more. Bond got the credit.
Yeah, Bond got the credit.
Yep.
How do you feel about it, Ty?
Again, Coop don't give a shit. And guess what? Super Bowl Sunday's his 22nd birthday. So, I mean, he's got a special play in his holster still. So he won't worry about it. He's just going to go out and do the dirty work, do the things that, no one's asking him to do. But, I mean, when he started playing, this Eagles defense kind of went to a new level. So,
Happy birthday to he and Saquon Barkley celebrating a birthday on February 9th.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Super Bowl birthdays, two of them on the same team. You would assume that would bode well for them. Do we have some bad D
There's
here?
some bad D, and this is kind of along the same theme that AQ was on with sequences of some of these plays. The third down in the second half, you'll see Hollywood Brown. Watch Kyra Elam down here. So we always talk about getting on different levels. If you pause it here in man-to-man coverage, the reason you get on different levels, especially against bunches and stacks, is because you want to avoid the picks. And Elam does a terrible job here avoiding the pick, allowing Hollywood Brown to get free on this 3rd and 4. You saw the trips bunch, and you saw Perrine kind of leak out from the backfield there on this play as well. But now, once you get the pick, you get a free runner. So right here, pause it. Final formation, you got Perrine, the back. So it's a 4x1. You got the back offset to there as well. You got the pick route crossers with the back coming to the flat. You run it, 3rd and 4. You get Hollywood Brown free here. Boom. Big 3rd down conversion to go put some points on the board. Now you fast forward to the end of the game. The 3rd and 9. Boom. You get a shift. So you come out in one formation. It's 4x1 to the boundary. Now they shift to the field. Very similar concept. Now you got a bunch of these crossers become picks. You bring Perrine from the opposite side of the field, and he gets the biggest first down of the game to pretty much seal this one. So everything Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, this offense is doing, it seems like they're kind of setting you up for when it matters most in the fourth quarter to kind of put the games away. So once again, great execution, great play calls. Bernard's right here. He's trying to cover the back. You're never going to get through all that traffic.
They're playing chess, not checkers.
Always.
Doesn't matter that he starts to the right of Mahomes, leaking to the left flat.
That makes it a little tougher, but with where Bernard was alignment-wise, I feel like he was in a pretty good spot but alignment-wise, but it's just that traffic. Like, you bringing 3 guys in, and their job is really – they're not even really trying to get open. Like, they're just trying to run in his pathway without actually hitting them so they don't get called for the OPI, and then I just got to get out there.
Yep. But sorry, but when I watch he and Milano are 2-on-1 on that back, I guess the only thing I guess he could have done is they would have in and out, and both of them have outside leverage. And if he went and got up on the line of scrimmage off to the right, I've done that in the past. If you feel like you can get beat to the flat like that, like say 4-3 goes up there on the edge on the right, and he's like, hey, if he comes back across the ball, I got him here. Obviously, you protect me, Milano. If he breaks back inside, you got him then.
Yeah, you saying Paul. So pre-snap at 43 was, yeah, 43 was just to go all the way outside of that defensive end, basically.
Yeah, you're basically playing the play, which you can't really do. But if you have help inside, I guess you could have. And like I said, this is just watching this over in real time. That's almost impossible to do. But if they showed that before and they had worked on it, it's something you could possibly do.
Oh, you're saying that he should have won all the way outside, as if he was
just completely take the pick out of it. Hey, if that back comes across the ball, I'm up here on the line of scrimmage. I'm basically grabbing him as soon as he clears the tackle box.
And Perrine being the guy, does that change anything for them, AJ? Because he's obviously not a star player for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it may get your antenna up a little bit. Hey, something weird might be coming here.
Yeah. So whenever the Colts did this with our 3rd-string running back, game on the line, season on the line, everybody said, "What a dipshit! Why would you do that?" But that was actually part of it. Was yeah, nobody thinks you're going to the 4th-string running back there. He's actually wide open. He's in the NFL. He should be able to catch the ball. Was kind of the thought. Perrine, nobody thought Perrine was getting the ball right there. In my eyes.
I mean, their offense, obviously you got Travis Kelce and, Worthy's the first-round pick this year, but you never know who's going to be that guy that week.
Crazy.
It could be D-Hop. It could be Juju.
Noah.
It could be Gray. Watch, you don't know. And Perrine, he was in on the 3rd and 4 earlier, too, so maybe he's their 3rd down back, but you never know who that guy is going to be. It's not like they're just centered around one guy in their passing game, so it's difficult. You got to be on point.
Biggest play of the season. Who's going to get it? Samaje Perine, obviously. Of
course.
We knew that for the Kansas City
He's gonna
Chiefs.
catch it.
Hey, great everything, DB. All right, before we get out of here, Kush, you've had a day today.
Tough one.
Great day.
I thought it was a great day.
Great day.
too.
Yeah, great day.
I thought you've had a great day. There's been some moments.
Great days can be tough.
Yeah. But I didn't think it was a tough day. I thought you had a good day today. I thought before the show, great energy over there.
Thank you.
I think Jade sent a couple at you, and you handled it pretty well, I think. You even pulled up a favorites video. You thought about it.
Yeah.
We went and did a little trip down nostalgia lane.
Yeah.
Now all you got to do is just win 30 people $500.
You go, Kush.
What are you going to do? You going to throw a football? Yeah, of course. Hey, listen, this is the last one of the season here, Kush. Why don't you go ahead and do this for the people?
Need it.
On this Winter Wednesday, AJ Hawk has a message of hope for you.
Hey, Q, you guys took Jim Knowles away from the Ohio State Buckeyes. Hopefully he can help you guys reach your dreams next year.
He grew up in Philly. He
Yeah.
said not the suburbs of Philly either, North Philly, rode subway downtown. So he said waking up in the morning on Sundays, it was always Penn State football. It's great to be back. You guys are willing to pay whatever to get whoever, huh? Is that what's going on up there in Penn State?
Hey, we're all in. We are all in, and we are going. I can't wait to see who they get in the spring transfer portal. Is that still a thing?
Yes, it is. There's
Perfect.
another week open in April.
Yeah, we're going to get 3 more guys. I can't wait. We are in.
I thought he was going to Oklahoma if he was going to leave Ohio State. Instead, he ends up at Penn State. You guys are just willing to do whatever, huh?
They threw the money at him, and it sounds like he wasn't appreciated very much at Ohio State.
Is that all about age?
Yeah, I didn't like him.
I don't know. I mean, I guess not to the tune of $3 million a year, I guess, huh?
Well, I mean, money is certainly a way to showcase how much you care about somebody. And they said it was well below $3 million is what Ohio State's offer was. You can stay with the national champs, but it's going to be 1.5. 1.5. How about it?
They said he wasn't incorporating enough of Bobby Carpenter's stuff on the D.
There's a chance General Bob Carpenter wasn't happy with everything that was taking place. Won a national championship, though, with Ohio. I hope bygones can be bygones and they can celebrate that thing together. You guys actually going to make a run at this or what?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in.
Did this
we
year?
were all in. Yeah, we were there.
Should offer Saban
screwed it up.
$30 million.
Who?
Saban. Offer him $30 million a year.
I don't hate that. We bring everybody. Get everybody. Just spend the money.
There's a chance Pat Kraft would do that, too. He's the type of guy that would potentially happen upon Saban and just go, what is the number? 30, 40, 50 million?
Sounds like Saban wants no part of this college landscape anymore, though, right?
He's certainly a massive piece of it with game day and everything he's doing behind the scenes. I think he's trying to shape it.
But I'm saying coaching.
I think he's trying to shape it so that teams can't just offer millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to everybody to kind of change their roster. And I think he's talking directly about the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I mean, there were some other people doing that this year.
Penn State, though, right back in the game whenever you're able to utilize what the alumni has.
I mean, if everybody's doing it, you got to go.
Yeah, we'll see.
We got to go.
They're doing it better than everybody up there in Penn State. I tried to mention it on game day. I've told you, you're the one that basically was giving me this information. Then when I started doing my own research and then chit-chatting with the people, it's like, yeah, Penn State might be the most active in this entire thing. Everybody's talking Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, everything like that. Penn State might be the most, we hear what they're doing. Let's double it.
I don't think they were a year ago.
I agree.
I think that was like the thing. And then it was like, okay, if we're doing this, we got to buy in. We got to go.
So your wrestling team hasn't lost in years, right?
Yeah, they are unbelievable.
Okay, how is...
They play... Is it Iowa this week?
Yeah, huge. 1-2.
Yeah.
What will that be on TV? Big Ten Network?
Big Ten Network, probably, yeah.
What night? I actually will watch that.
Saturday, I think.
I think it's Saturday night. But
gonna be tough on a Saturday night to watch that.
Yeah.
But I would want to watch it.
If you're going to watch a wrestling meet all year, that would be the one to watch.
And the Iowa kid was talking shit.
Yeah.
To Penn State guys?
There's genuine... I don't know if it's bad blood because I think both programs respect each other quite a bit, but this has turned, Iowa was just the best team in the nation for so long, and then Cal Sanderson got to Penn State, and now they are the best. So there's a genuine rivalry there.
It's on Friday night. Maybe watch it.
Friday night. Okay,
maybe
there you
Friday night. Big Ten Network, Tone?
I just saw Friday night. Let me look what network.
Is it in Iowa City? Is it at Carver or is it at,
not sure.
Yeah.
They need to
Big Ten Network, check.
Big Ten Network Friday night, sweet. They need to move Matt Madness. And I know that is probably a time that has been set. They should not be trying to compete against March Madness with that. The Matt Madness, which is the national championship for wrestling, electric.
It's incredible.
Happened upon it one time when there was shitty games for March Madness. And I'm just kind of changing the channel and it's Matt Madness, come check it out. It's like gladiators coming in there. And it's cool. And Penn State dominated the whole every weight class. Penn State won it all, which I think is a piece of the Pac-Craft specialty, right? Like, we want to win everything is kind of the conversation.
Everything. I mean, like you mentioned it yesterday. I know basketball's not there yet, but they're on their way. Women's volleyball.
They're spending a lot of money on basketball.
Women's volleyball, they're back. Like, they were awesome when I was there. Kind of took a dip, and they won it again this year. So everybody's going.
They're spending a lot of money on their sports.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the athletic director is working.
He's
working his ass off to get it happen. And I'm not saying every athletic director can do that. Obviously, Penn State has a lot more alumni they can reach out to, but he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's reaching out to all of them.
Every one of them.
Speakeasy down there in the stadium.
It's a pretty cool idea.
It is a great idea.
Genius.
Yeah, you give $10 million, you get an opportunity to go to a speakeasy down here. How about it? Get free parking.
Worth it.
Worth it.
$10 million.
Team's good.
Bring 15 of your friends in. Have some drinks.
What is the stadium? $700 million?
Yeah.
And that's not loans.
I mean, it looks like a Lego set right now. It's needed a facelift on the outside, and now they're getting it.
But it's not loans. That's not $700 million in loans. That's money that
they're just getting cash.
Who are all these people?
I mean, there's obviously Pagula is the biggest. That's
Bills
Buffalo
owner.
Bills. That's Buffalo Sabres. I just saw there's a Schuyler, which I think the Honors College at Penn State's named after him. SCHUYLER. They just donated like a 10 mil gift. Or
So they get the speakeasy access.
Yeah. Smart. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
So-
Good on them.
Get a chance to get in. Skylar knows I want to get in a speakeasy.
Yeah.
Down there. Good for Pat Kraft. Dog, football guy. Penn State, one of the top AD jobs, I assume, in the country?
You would have to imagine, right? I mean, they've been good in a ton of sports. They're in every single sport. They got a chance to win it. Yeah.
Basketball team was a bit of a letdown this season.
They spent a lot of money on that team, too, I think.
3-7 in the Big Ten. They've kind of been shite.
Because remember, we were walking, the meetings were in the basketball arena, and as we were walking around shaking hands, they're like, yeah, investing big in basketball.
There was high hopes. I mean, I think they started off 12-2.
They're coming off being good too. Like, they were good, and then their coach went to Notre Dame, so they kind of had to figure things out again. So I would assume in a couple years,
is that the light skinned dude that went over to Notre Dame?
Yeah, Micah Shrewsbury.
He was cool. He came and talked to us whenever we were up at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I remember how's Notre Dame's basketball team?
They stink, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But they play in
Should've
the ACC too, which is a very tough conference.
Got it. Who ACC still the best basketball conference?
Duke's unbelievable this year.
SEC is very good.
I saw Pitt beat North Carolina last night.
Yeah, it was a big win for them.
Big game.
Kentucky beat Tennessee as a 10.5-point favorite last night as well. Tennessee's only lost 4 games all year.
How is college hoops this year?
It's been pretty good. It's starting to heat up. The SEC, like Ole Miss, is good. There's some other teams that are really
Chris
good.
Beard.
Yeah, they're going.
Who would have thought Beard would have his team rolling down there?
Alabama's good again.
Michigan State's on absolute
How's
fire.
Arkansas, people that aren't loving Cal that much, but Arkansas is all right.
What do you mean they're not loving Cal?
What the hell is UConn?
UConn's lost 5.
They've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, and people are starting to kill Hurley.
Yeah, I heard because he said I'm the best coach in America.
And he's just going ape shit at refs like every single night.
And then he says, I'm not changing.
Yeah, I blacked out. I don't remember saying that. That's what he said after he said, I'm the best fucking coach in the sport. Don't turn your back on me.
That was in the press conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he did a podcast or something afterwards. And he said, I don't think we should be trying to soften sports. Are you going to change weight?
No.
It's my coach.
I am who I am is basically what he said.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's my coach.
I love everything about it. Anybody that is not scared to be themselves I'm a fan, which is why we hope that Goober down there in Jacksonville has success.
Amen.
If that's who he is all the time, we're pulling for him.
Duval.
Are you out on him too, Eric Hughes?
I think I'm out.
Already.
He doesn't even have an offensive line coach. You could get a job, maybe.
Give him a chance.
I've heard some things. I don't like it.
Jeez.
I know you made your opinions known earlier in the hour. I saw a couple of Jacksonville people say, it's a tired narrative. The people in Tampa aren't even mad at him anymore.
That's interesting.
That's
I
what
think
he
so.
said.
Yeah.
But hey, time heals all wounds, just like Liam said to Rick Stroud in that interview.
Honesty's the best policy.
Boom.
He said that to the local team. What was that one he was wearing?
Yeah, massive microphone.
Was he doing a European? Was that a European interview?
Yeah, it was a European soccer hit, I believe.
Could have been, yeah.
Sky Sports.
Yeah, which Jacksonville, you never know.
Yeah.
Because they own also
Exactly.
Arsenal over there.
That's the only way that he can really, at least for me, be like, this is a guy. if he shows up one of these nights and fucking chokeslams Chris Jericho like through a table
At AEW?
Yeah, and I'll be like, okay, never mind.
Maybe Liam's a guy.
Yeah, maybe this guy's a guy.
What did Urban gave a computer to Chris Jericho?
He did.
Keyboard
to utilize. That didn't end up working out, but should have gave him the computer.
Yeah, he should have.
What soccer team do they own down there, Gumsh?
Good question. I forget.
Ajax? No, they own some soccer team.
Tampa's Man United, right?
No, I'm talking about Jackson.
Glazer family.
United.
Yeah, but Tampa's Man United. Is that right?
Maybe.
Fulham. I think so. Yeah.
Is it Fulham?
Fulham.
They're actually Fulham's having a very good season, better than they were supposed to this year.
Well, that's where Tony's been spending all his time. He's chief football strategist. He's spending all his time with Fulham. He's talking that football.
Yeah.
Chief American football strategist. They need to call him the calves.
Right.
Instead of just the sifs. All right, AQ, let's win something.
There we go.
AJ, anything positive to say other than a condescending shot about them taking a defense coordinator to Penn State?
I was not condescending. I was truly congratulating him. But no, AQ does look jacked. He looks like he could do 46 reps at 225 right now.
Could you do more or less 225 than Tim Tebow?
Oh, man.
What did Tim Tebow do?
He said he could do 30 to 35.
I did 33 at the combine, so.
Could you do more now or not?
Probably less now. Tim can do 35 right now.
He said 30 is the over.
He said maybe 40. Maybe 40.
Yeah, I think he's actually doing them. He's like.
That's his training program, just 225
I think
for
it's
reps?
max weights. He's doing he's trying to lift the most amount of weight possible. What did he tell you, AJ? Why are we lifting if we're not trying to lift the most amount of weight?
Oh, yeah. He got like offended when I mentioned something about high reps. High rep? Who's doing reps? I'm lifting heaviest thing I can lift.
Yeah, he's going to come in here and do 225 test, actually, see if he can get over 30, I believe.
Jeez.
You got those little baby arms, though.
Yeah.
Still got to get it. You still got to get it off your chest, and you still got to lock it out. Okay.
Yeah, but your little baby arms help whenever you got a big barrel chest. You got the little arms. You only got to move it, 4 inches or something like that.
What do you think the hardest part of a bench press is?
Moving it the first 4 inches.
Right off the chest. What do you think the hardest part of a squat is?
Getting off the ground.
Bingo.
Maybe we have a bench off.
You and Tim Tebow.
Yep, there it is.
Let's do it.
Why don't you prepare for that? Why don't you get like a month of preparation for that?
Done.
Okay.
You set it up, I'm there.
It'll be here.
Jage might want in.
Does Jage do any 225?
Oh,
He's
sure he can do a bunch.
How many weights you got?
325.
Enough weights for him.
Jage, he's got those long ass arms. That is not a.
He can still do 30 plus.
I like that AQ. She's like, oh, okay, we're acting like that's the hard part. Hey, you still move 225 a bunch? We're live.
I can.
How many? Like 30?
Yeah, I'd probably hit about 30 right now.
All right, we're going to have a 225 bench contest between you, AQ, and Tim Tebow, okay?
When?
All right, you got like a month and a half, 6 weeks.
All right.
Okay, all right, sweet. Thank you, Jage. We appreciate you. All right, of course he can. I'd probably do 30.
Gotta beat him, AQ.
Yeah, AQ, this is
Training starts tomorrow.
This is it.
Yeah. Get a photo of him on your wall.
You lose to JJ and Tim Tebow? Oh, buddy, that'll be a tough day.
Tough day.
Tim Tebow's been preparing since we mentioned it to him the other day. I bet you he's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Since he's been out of the league.
He's so fucking gigantic. All right.
Here we go.
That's a different day, though. Today, it's all about putting that football, the Baby Duke 2.0, which is available now at store.patmcafeeshow.com, into that hoop right over there. If you're able to do it, 30 people will win $500, AQ. Do it for the people. Do it for yourself. Do it for Penn State. Do it for the good of the world. Bald head, big dreams, overshoots it. He's all jacked up thinking about the 225.
Yeah.
Ty Schmidt actually has a message for you as you attempt to win 30 people $500.
Yeah, dude, you got to make this because otherwise JJ is probably going to text you later and he's going to be like, hey, not only do you not know shit about football and blitzes and stuff like that, but you also can't throw a fucking football into a hoop, which I could do. And I'm going to beat your ass in the bench press competition.
Jeez, that's a triple whammy. You don't want that. AQ Shipley, 30 people $500. All you do is put that Baby Duke 2.0 into that hoop right over there. AQ for the... Yeah. How'd that not go in? I don't know where that went. To be honest, I don't know where that went. Did that go on near side or far side?
Far side.
Far side. That was fucked up. That was... Hey, it's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Look at the mark on the backboard.
That's exactly where you're trying to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's the way life goes. Sometimes you do everything right and it still ends up bad. That's why your next shot's your best shot. That's why you can't stop getting into the batter's box. That's why you can't let one little thing drag down the next thing. That's why if you make that, 30 people, $500. All you got to do is put that baby Duke 2.0 into that hoop right over there, and 30 people's lives will be better because of AQ Shipley. There you go, Jack.
Take a little juice off. Take a little juice off.
Come on now. She had the perfect throw. You let one loss lead to two. Boston Connor has a message for you to really bring your spirits into a place where you'd win 30 people $500.
You know, JJ mentioned a few things during his time. You know what he also mentioned? He doesn't have what you have. That's Super Bowl ring. And we didn't go to the moon, but you did win a Super Bowl.
That's right. We don't know if that's true. We don't know if
you did.
What
You won a Super Bowl.
He said it. That's right. Take us to the moon.
Connor said he went down the rabbit hole. It didn't happen.
There's no chance, and we won't get into that. But
he don't believe it.
What, you fucking shit?
He don't believe it.
Why don't you go down a rabbit hole yourself?
I'm going down it tonight. But right now, I'm being influenced
into making this.
30 people, $500.
He's got no shot.
In 2025.
He's got it.
AQ Shipley! What a winner! 30 people, $500. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. And you could potentially be one of the 30 winners from our friend AQ Shipley.
Baby AQ.
All right, from all of us to all you, we can't thank you enough. We're back tomorrow with a great Thursday.
Yeah?
Huge.
Yeah, tomorrow's big time Thursday.
Actually.
It's going to be huge Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Potentially. We don't know if it's tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
But there's a massive guest coming in the next 2 days. How big? Big.
Mm-hmm.
How hilarious? Real.
Mm-hmm.
How serious? Very much so. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Hey, great work this year.
Had a baby AQ.
Good work.
Thanks for having me, boy. Seriously.
Good job.
It's the best time of my week.
Hell yeah. You too, D-Butch, even though we'll see you next week.
Oh, yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.